Hi, I'm Cathures,
And I'm Shockburnt.
and it's part 3 of our Return to the Pit playthrough. Technically, it's the same night as the part 2, but we had to take a break.
There's had a sudden arrow to the
I
knee.
know, my knee is a nightmare. It was like, nope, and I was like, okay, time for a break, I guess. I want to see what happens.
I had some chai tea. I'm all loaded up. We didn't have mulled wine
No,
to make it for a more exciting reading, but
I know, I wish we could have wine. Let's see.
and we're with Perseid Labs.
Yeah, we're with Perseid Labs. Look, I've got a fun shadow now for some reason. I guess I just set it up weird.
Dramatic lighting.
I know I'm like Phantom of the Opera. But yeah.
Where we last left off, we had met our neighbors, Mr. and Mr. Brown, Mr. and Mrs. Brown, which were secretly
You mean Mr. and Mrs. Brown who had turned into Chica
Chica and
Cupcake.
Mr. Cupcake.
Yeah.
I'm so happy we get to see Mr. Cupcake. We had gone this whole time
You
without
always get a
Mr.
Cupcake. I mean, it must suck to be a fan of a character that never actually appears, because Cupcake appears in everything.
Of
I mean,
course.
to be fair, like, you're a fan of Henry as well, who never appears in anything.
Mr. Cupcake's the main character.
Yeah.
He's one of the main band members.
Yeah. What's this? You race down the front path to the sidewalk and then run as fast as you can down the street. The house is blurring your peripheral vision, and you feel a bit like a cartoon character running down an infinite hallway of repeating tables and paintings.
Boy.
House after house, lawn after lawn, hydrant after hydrant. Man, Jeff's is quite far away.
He's on a walk cycle.
I know, he's just on like one of those like Flintstones, like, or whatever thing.
He's like, was that the same table?
Your mind
Pitmaster's
wanders
like, don't
to
worry about
Dad.
it.
You can imagine him floating in a pool of infinite balls.
Yeah, you have to imagine because there's only two.
Lying there like a drowned man. A drowned man. He's just lying there like in the, you know, the Family Guy death pose in that empty ball pit. His face drained of colour, his lips purple and cold, all alone
graphic,
because
Oswald.
of you, dead because of you. At least
Bye, Dad.
To be
Good.
fair, anything can be as graphic as they want as long as we're not talking about piss or vomit. I'm like, that's when I'm like, no, please, Scott. No, you won't think like that. You
Yes, we
shake
will.
your head and dart across the street. There's a loud screech and you wheel around to see a car slamming to a stop just in front of you. You stare at the driver, a man in his 40s or so. He looks somehow familiar. Is it Chip? I mean, that's not unusual since you know almost everyone in this town, but this is different somehow. He leans his head out the driver's side window and says, "Get in."
Get in if you want to live.
Get in. I'm like, okay, hold on, I need to open up this. Get in.
So, as I mentioned, I did do this. So this part,
So are we just gonna leave it?
What? No. So when I was reading this with my friend, I screamed very excitedly at this part. Because I thought that it might be. I screamed so loud, I thought it might be Detective Larson. And
yeah, and I was like, what? Like,
and it's so loud that Cathures heard me when we were trying not to spoil anything.
Yeah, I had noise cancelling, like the best noise cancelling headphones in the business on. I can sit on a plane and not hear anything, but I heard her scream, "It's Larson!" I was like, whoa. I was like, okay, there's only so much these headphones can do. Yeah.
Anyway.
So,
we'll see who
I guess
it is.
we can say no, because that seems like the you die ending. It seems like it wants us to get in the car. So I just won't.
Leave it. We don't care who's in that
car.
car.
Running again. You see the car is still sitting there and the man is still staring at you. What on earth is that about? That's just creepy. Okay, add that to the list of all the creepy things that have happened to you recently. Was it him? Like Oswald himself? You shake your head and turn back to focus on your journey to Jeff's. Once again, your mind becomes full of morbid thoughts about your dad, and once again, you're brought out of your reverie by the screeching of tiles on pavement. You look up. Is that guy following you? Great, another person out to get you. Just what you need right now, but it's not that guy anymore. It's the rabbit in Dad's car. You realise what is happening a little too late. You try to run, but the rabbit is faster. Of course it is. It's driving a freaking car. It pushes the pedal to the metal and comes barreling towards you. The amount of times he gets like run over in this is hilarious.
You like the Oswald getting run down.
They're so good. It's such a William thing. He's like, get in the car. He's like, just runs him over. I'm like, yeah. There's the amount of times I see people like get out of a car to have a fight in a movie, and I'm like, you were in a death machine. Why did you do this?
Yeah, a car does count as a deadly weapon.
Yeah, like it's literally like you're gonna lose to a car hitting you. Like, right. So let's get in the car.
Of course, we're getting in the stranger's car.
You aren't exactly sure
Piling right
why,
in.
with everything else that's happened to you, you're suddenly trusting some random stranger telling you to get in. But get in you do, and quickly close the passenger side door behind you. You turn to look at the man, and he's just staring at you. He has blonde hair, receding a bit at the temples, and a weary expression. I can see why you were like Larson. Like a man who's travelled around the world a few times and not been happy with what he's seen. The way he's looking at you is unnerving, almost as unblinking as the rabbit, and you are so not down for any more unblinking nonsense. What, you ask? Maybe a bit more harshly than you intended, but who cares, really? Also, like, receding a bit, like Oswald's hair was receding a bit as well. With everything else going on, a bit of directness and mistrust isn't such a bad thing. I'd heard the stories, but to see you, it's proof, isn't it? Evidence. Okay, so this guy's either crazy or on something. Nah, dude, not today. You turn to leave and he grabs your arm. You instantly flinch and he releases it, holding his hand up high in a kind of apologetic gesture. Ozman, it's me. I'm sorry. Didn't mean to spook you. No one calls you Oz. No one except you look at that face. Lines, sunken cheeks, bags under the eyes. It is Chip. But
You
beneath
were
it all,
right.
that familiar look, that's something else, that gut instinct. I was like, where are these guys? Go get your guys.
I know.
Chip, you say it and you don't believe it.
Ya boy.
The man smiles, a tired smile, but a smile nonetheless. Yeah, man, it's me. He's like, I've got friends that are middle-aged. Chip, from 1985. Chip with a fluffy big hair and the toothy grin. There's some of that grin in his smile, hidden a bit, but there. You're old now, you say.
So I say as well, like him being like conspiracy confirmed. I get a little bit of a Sammy vibe. I don't know,
Chip.
but
Chip off the old block.
A little bit.
That's what it means, clearly. Chip smiles wide and he laughs. Wow, now he looks so much like 1985, it's freaky. Yeah, it happens. You didn't age a bit.
Well,
yeah, this is like my time. You realise now how that might sound like gibberish, how best to explain.
What's so sad is that he lived out his whole life too. Like he
remembering this guy.
He didn't go find Chip, and he could have found Chip. You know,
Yeah.
like in that sad ending where he has to live his entire life by himself.
I know. This is like my time. Okay, this is weird, but the ball pit is like a time machine, and I've been going to your time all summer, but really it's been this time, the whole time. Too much use of the word time, you think to yourself. Chip nods. He doesn't seem weirded out by the story in the least. Yeah, I mean, I didn't know about the ball pit, but a lot of weird stuff happened in 1985. And there was some strange time jumping stuff too. I didn't experience it personally, but it was kind of a crazy summer for us back then. An awful summer.
So there was
so there
more.
Were other kids?
There were other things that happened.
Time jumping.
Other time jumping.
So it was glitchy somehow. Like
yeah,
weird. Yeah. I didn't experience it personally, but it was kind of a crazy summer for us back then. An awful summer. His expression grows dark, and you remember the dead kids in the back room and nod. You know what he's talking about. Other people time jumped?
Yeah.
You ask instead, not wanting to discuss the horror. A couple of kids in my time went back. Don't know if it was in the ball pit or something else, but yeah, it must be in the 70s.
Oswald does not explain this at all. He's like, several other kids
went
not back in time. Or sorry,
Chip. But yeah, Chip's like they went back in time, back to the past. They went to the cowboy world that we were talking about.
Did William and Henry
time travel?
Did they time travel?
Did they go fight a dinosaur?
Are Henry and William originally from Greek?
God, I don't. No Greek. That Greek is red card.
Is William actually Hercules?
Black card. No mythology. No Odysseus.
Are they from Dracula times?
Dracula I can deal with.
Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. That's them.
An awful summer. Other people time jumped, you ask instead, not wanting to discuss the horror. A couple kids in my time went back. Don't know if it was in the ball pit or something else. Just what, like the coffee machine? I don't know if it was in the ball pit. Maybe they went in the third stall in the bathroom.
Did he mention? He didn't mention the ball pit, did he?
Yes, he did. He said the ball pit is like a time machine.
Oh yeah, up there he said.
Yeah. Okay. So he said like other people time jumped, yeah. But it all makes sense.
Sure.
Does it? Really?
No.
You sit in silence for a moment. Then you feel a sudden rush of realization flow over you like a wave. The rabbit. I'm running from the rabbit. That yellow mascot dude asked Chip right away. Oh wow, you don't even have to catch him up, it seems. Yes, you're almost too relieved. It's this feeling as if you've already rescued your dad and got rid of the rabbit.
Ah.
But none of that has happened yet. You can't relax yet. You need to still to still stay vigilant.
That's weird.
Yeah, so he is caught in a loop. I think this is like,
Yeah.
and he's breaking them out of it. Stupid hiccups. The rabbit hurt my dad, and now he's somewhere in the ball pit at Jeff's. Jeff is where Freddy's used to be, you explain. And meanwhile, the rabbit has taken over my dad's life, and I don't know what it wants, but I'm pretty sure it wants to kill me or something. I mean, if it wanted to kill you, it would have. It's freaky, and I don't know what's going on. Chip nods along to everything you're saying like he's heard it all before. His expression is serious and determined. That rabbit's bad news. Trust me, we all know that. I totally believe it's done that. Not the first time it's time jumped either. No one's managed to destroy it.
Not the
yet.
first time it's time jump. Where did it go? What do you mean? What do you mean
It's
the yellow rabbit
terrifying.
is time jumping everywhere?
I'm imagining
What?
like, you know, like the back rooms, you know, like where you can hear people through the walls and stuff. Like,
No.
Oz, I've put together a team.
Remember, again, the FNAF 3 where we talked about the glitching? And remember the FNAF 3, like Shadow Rabbit and how it glitches through all the mini games?
Yes. Yeah, we were talking about that. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
It's terrifying. Oz, I've put together a team. We're gonna have to assemble a team of like vengeful people. We're gonna call them the Avengers. We've put together a team to take down the rabbit once and for all. We've been waiting for it to appear in town again, and oh my god, this is it. This is like it. This is just the story of it. We're gonna go get Pennywise, William Wise,
Sewer rabbit. There's a sewer clown. There is a sewer clown. That's FNAF.
Yeah, Enold.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got all of it. We've got all the stuff. We're waiting for it to appear in town again, and well, it looks like it's now or never. We were meant to meet today. Will you join us and help us end it? Well, obviously, I'm not going to say no, but I'm gonna.
I can't do it.
I'm just a kid. I can't do it. I believe you guys can. Oh my god. And then they fail without you because they're idiots. Oh no, look, this is really long. Chip looks a little disappointed, but he nods. Yeah, that makes sense. I shouldn't have asked you anyway. What kind of grown-up am I? He laughs a bit to himself.
No,
It's weird thinking of you as a grown-up. I just saw you the other day as a kid, you say. It's kind of trippy to think. Chip has this far-off look in his face now, and he shakes his head slowly. I'm trying to remember what it was like in 1985. You were really cool, you say? Yeah? Oh yeah, and well, I don't know. Chip furrows his brow as he looks at you, and what? It's dumb, but you were also really nice to me. That's not dumb. You shrug. I guess not. It shouldn't be, but I feel like being nice isn't something that's seen as cool, and you were both. It meant a lot. Not a lot of kids are nice to me. That's awful, said Chip. Now he's feeling sorry for you, and you didn't mean for that to happen. You feel pretty pathetic. Nah, it's fine. It's whatever. I like being a loner, but you and Mike were awesome and made this summer a lot better. Before the whole rabbit thing happened. You're now feeling more than just anger and fear about the rabbit. There's bitterness too. You had a good thing going in 1985, and that rabbit totally ruined it. Mike, oh man, I forgot he was still living here back then. Haven't heard from him in like 15 years. 15 years? You haven't even been alive for that long. It's crazy to think you could have a whole friendship with someone and then not see them for longer than a person has been existing. Yeah, he moved with his family the next year. He's in Boston now, married with kids. Whoa, you say. Chip laughs. Crap, is that the time? He says, suddenly looking at the clock on the dashboard. Sorry, Oz, but I do have to go. Have a rabbit I have to take down. Totally. You're not about to hold him back. There's nothing that matters more to you than the destruction of this rabbit. You quickly open your door and jump out into the street. Good luck, you say. Thanks, Oz, he replies. And he, Oz? Yeah? I always thought you were pretty cool too. You grin at each other and you close the door. Chip speeds off and you watch him disappear around the corner. You feel a really weird mix of feelings. Happy to have seen Chip again. Kind of sad that he's all grown up. Scared that he might not defeat the rabbit. Hopeful that he will. Time travel's more complicated than you thought. It didn't just mess with space and time, but your emotions as well.
That's us in FNAF.
And then he gets hit by the car.
Of course.
Oh my god, the rabbit's trying to kill you with the car. This has nothing to do with Chip. You try and run, but the rabbit is faster. Oh my god, that's so funny. He gets killed by the car. Okay, so I guess...
It's like not just about time and space, but also your emotional state. I'm like,
The drive is long and winding, and you leave your bleached, dusty town for rolling hills of patchy yellow fields and dry dirt. The long, hot summer has made its mark here too, and even though you're breathing in the artificial cold from the car AC vents, you can still smell that heavy heat in the air. So this is Utah. And surely, like patchy yellow fields and dry dirt, and it's like hot.
Yeah.
You turn down a dirt road that throws you around and your seat. The car skids a bit in
Well,
the
I think
gravel.
in the Into the Pit game as well, there's a Utah flag, right?
Yeah. I just mean, like, again, for me, I have to approach each one as a new thing, even though they're all the same thing. You know what it's
I
like?
know what you
Because they're
mean.
all, yeah.
There's difference. Slight
Uh,
differences.
the car skids a bit in the gravel as if it's on ice and then settles into warm tracks that makes for a slightly smoother ride. You don't say anything to Chip this whole time. You don't know what to say. So when you said you didn't really see movies, he said instead, you can't help but smile. Oh yeah, that was tough to think of movies from 1985. I mean, it's weird. I actually do watch old movies. My dad, you stop then. Thinking about dad makes your stomach clench.
Yeah, me
Your
too. Bye,
dad?
Dad.
Yeah, he likes old movies, but even older than 1985, you don't really feel like talking anymore. It's weird to think of the 80s as old, says Chip. Not really. Yeah, as we were born in the 80s, both of us are sitting here
Chip's
like,
like,
yeah.
I'm not old.
Yeah,
And
I
Oswald's
saw
like,
a
no,
thing
you're
the other
super
day and
old,
it was
man.
like a retro magazine and it had a Nintendo like DS on it and I was like, "Oh no, retro. That's retro." Like to me like retro's like old
Amiga.
PCs, like yeah, not even the Amiga. Like the Amiga isn't, yeah, probably Amiga's ZX Spectrum like 1980s. Um Not really. Well, yeah, not for you, but someday someone's going to say now is old and then you'll get it. Chip gives you a grin, but you're just feeling worse and worse. You feel like you've abandoned dad, like anything could have happened to him, that anything could be happening to him. You think about your fights and how you always say his taste in music is terrible. Probably the same as what Chip is saying, stuff was cool once and now it isn't, and the stuff you like probably won't be cool someday. Not that you ever liked anything because it was cool anyway, and you do kind of like those old monster movies. Man, you feel like crap. The car turns down a driveway, long and winding, with pine trees flanking each side. At least these are green, unlike the other kinds of trees that seem ready for fall, with browning, yellowing leaves. You finally pull up to a large barn, the kind that's one story and used for tractor and other vehicle storage than other animals and hay. The white siding makes you squint, and as you step out of the car, you can smell the very familiar smell of cow manure. Interesting, this is a barn. This is like William has a barn as well.
Mm-hmm.
There are a few people milling about outside the entrance to the barn, and you notice a girl about your age. It's a relief to see a fellow kid. It's funny, up until recently, you always thought of Chip as a kid. She clearly is also happy to see you, and she comes right over to you with a kind smile. Hi, she says. She sticks out her hand. Hi, you say, and take it. Oz, this is Gabrielle, my daughter. Gabrielle, this is an old friend of mine. Gabriel, yeah.
Gabrielle.
But no, but I'm saying, but again, this is another repeat name. Gabrielle, Gabriel, you know what I
Yeah,
mean? We've
yeah,
got a
yeah.
Gabriel.
But Gabrielle's from the original book. She shows up a little bit in the game, but she's the one who makes his friend and the Greek stories.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, not that old. She
but it's
smiles.
interesting that it's Chip's daughter.
Yeah, so we know who she is.
She's the one that always gave me like Charlie or Cassidy vibes. She helps out Oz and tells him to be brave and stuff in the original.
This is an old friend of mine, Oz. I mean, not that old. She smiles as she shakes my hand firmly and then releases it. Long story, I say. Dad, I'm gonna be late. I'm gonna be late for school, she says, turning to Chip. Yeah, sorry, sweetie. Oz here held me up. I think you're gonna have to skip today. Is that okay? He asks. Gabrielle nods. I'd much rather help you out here anyway. I'd rather be a hero than just read about them. You notice she's carrying a big book with some kind of monster on the cover. That's my girl, said Chip. And it's so weird to think of him as a dad that you kind of want to laugh, but also you know it isn't the right moment for that.
He wants
Come
to laugh
on.
at his dadhood.
I know, he's like,
He's
you're a
like,
dad
you
now,
like a
lol.
girl.
Come on, let's get this meeting started. He looked over at some adults standing in the shade of one of the trees. Let's get going. They nod and all of you head into the shadows of the barn. There are half a dozen other adults already inside, sitting on some folding chairs and a bench along one wall. It doesn't look super organised or anything, but you're just happy you don't have to face this rabbit on your own anymore. You and Gabrielle choose a pair of old barrels to sit on, and you both sit there dangling your legs and waiting for something to happen. I'm going to take that away.
Sorry.
What's going on? You whisper to Gabrielle. We're just waiting for the leader. It's all good, she reassures you. Oh, I thought your dad was the leader. She shakes her head. Just as she does, a shadow materializes in the wide open barn doorway. First a pair of legs, then a torso, and then a pair of long, tall ears. the rabbit walks inside.
Dun,
You
dun,
want to make a
dun.
run for it, and you wonder why everyone is still sitting there like that. There it is, said Gabriel, who? The leader, of course.
This
Oh
is
my
what
god,
we
this is the shadow rabbit
this
thing.
is what we see as well with William, like, leading or tricking the kids, and where continually they think that he's someone else. Like, you know, in the fourth closet where they all work for him and do what he says, and
Yeah.
he's in control. Yeah, we just see that all over with William's character
So
in the
what,
movie as
so
well.
I what one won't progress it? I don't know.
It's the what are you talking about? That's the
Yeah,
rabbit.
because I'm assuming he'll get killed for that.
But some of these are long rabbit holes, but yeah.
What are you talking about, Oz? That's Chip. He's walking over to the rabbit, hand extended as he turns and says that to you. Right there. It's right there. You point at the rabbit and it just stares back at you. For a creature that has zero expression on its face, it's amazing how well you can read it. Right now, it appears satisfied, smug. It's like,
It's like I could tell that's a smug bunny.
Oh man, are you okay? Asked Chip. He and the rabbit shake hands and Chip makes some kind of quiet apology to it. Now you know for sure that Chip is all grown up. He's doing that dismissive thing adults do when they talk to each other to reassure each other that the kid that's acting weird is no big deal. Except this is a huge deal. You can't believe this is happening to you? Not here, not now. That's the rabbit, you say to Gabriel. She's looking at you all weird, but she isn't like being like the other grown-ups. She's actually listening. How can you tell? She asks. I mean, look at it. You gesture towards the figure and she looks. I don't get it. It's in a yellow rabbit costume, for crying out loud.
You know, sometimes, you know, this is me in the theory fandom.
I think you're like, it's green. They're like, no.
No, I'm like, look, it's the yellow rabbit. It's William Afton.
I know.
And people are like,
they're like, the mimic.
It's not him.
Everyone is
It's
staring
someone
at you
else.
now. Even the people behind you, you can feel their eyes on you. You refuse to feel silly. You aren't losing your mind.
No.
After all, these people have gathered to take down the rabbit, so surely
Yes.
they know he exists.
Yes.
You have to get them to see it somehow. I just see a guy, replied Gabriel.
No.
She looked at you again and now she looks worried. Even if Gabriel can't see it, you feel a heavy hand on your shoulder and turn quickly. A woman in a dark green tank top and camouflage pants is looking at you severely.
It's the
Come
FNAF
with me,
theory
she
mafia.
It's the Freddy mods. So like, we're gonna have to take you out back because we don't agree with the mimic. You look to Gabriel, who doesn't seem to know what to do. She just looks as lost as you feel. Go with Ava, said Chip. I'm sorry, Oz, but maybe time travel has messed with your mind a little bit. We can't have you having these outbursts when we have a mission to accomplish. What does that mean? Are you gonna kill me? You sit there defiant, not ready to go anywhere. Chip sputters and holds his hands up. Kill you? What? Of course not. We just need to keep you safe until the mission's done. Ava? The woman behind you grabs under your arms to lift you off the barrel, and she is very strong. You realise fighting it will only make things harder for you. Okay, I'm coming, you say. You get up and are led down the other end of the barn, past all the people staring at you as you go. They think you're crazy. You worry a little bit that you are. Ava takes you to a small storage room with no windows. Just a single light bulb dangling for the centre of the ceiling. You step inside. Well, this is fun. Sorry, kid, I'll come get you when we've completed the mission. And take you home, she says. She closes the door behind her and you can hear her lock it with a clang on the other side. Well, this is just fantastic, isn't it? You wander around for a while, full of angry, nervous energy, and finally you start to feel a little tired. So you sit on the cold cement floor. You have no idea how much time has passed, if it's day or night, if they've left for the mission yet or not. You just wait and wait and wait. And then you hear the clang of the lock and the door is opened slowly. You jump to your feet, you're so ready to explain and to just get the heck out of here. And enters the rabbit. You stumble backwards, tripping over your feet. You fall hard onto that cement ground. The rabbit looms over you and stares down. It raises its hand and ticks its finger back and forth the way you would at a naughty child. He's like, does the Sonic, like.
Mm-hmm. Da, 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 da.
Then it opens its mouth wide and wider and wider. It unhinges its jaw, revealing rows of razor-sharp teeth. It lunges at you.
Yep.
Yeah,
So bitey.
So you get eaten by the
Still
rabbit.
has not been fed. Nobody's been feeding that rabbit.
Hold on. My mum was like loudly shouting on Darcy was the problem there, sorry. She's like, Darcy! We're trying to do a recording. Okay,
And then we were like, where is he? And And she's like, oh no, he's right here.
He's right here. I didn't have to scream at like midnight or whatever time it is. Right. So we don't mention the rabbit because calling out the rabbit is the wrong thing. So we just sit there in the rabbit cult. You sit there in stunned silence as Chip greets the rabbit, giving its hand a hearty shake. You continue to sit as Chip starts the meeting with the rabbit standing beside him. Tonight we head to Jeff's and make a final stand. Chip is saying, This is weird. This is like this is giving like Henry being like, we're gonna catch the person who's stealing these kids and my friend Afton is gonna help us.
Yep.
It's totally given that where he's like got everybody together and he's like, both of us are gonna help get the kids back, and it's like that's him there.
Yeah.
Like, he's right beside
Yeah.
you.
Mm-hmm.
Chip is saying, but you barely hear it because all you can do is stare at the rabbit. And again, like for me, it's given Mike because Mike would know weirdly.
Yes.
I think, and Mike's like, can't everybody see this?
Mm-hmm.
And people are like, no. And the rabbit definitely stares right back. It appears smug, like it has won something. Yeah, and William's totally smug about it as well. But it hasn't, you think to yourself. Not yet. There's a huge cheer for the gathered crowd, including Gabrielle beside you, and you're quick to join in the applause. Everyone's up on their feet now, talking with one another, making plans for tonight, looking over maps and finalising weapons. You see several spiked baseball bats, some rope, pitchforks, which makes sense seeing as you're in a bar, even if there are no animals. Chip is loading a rifle, which makes you feel uneasy. This again is like the
Rabbit
Henry
hunting.
can shoot, remember?
Yeah.
But none of it will do anything if the adults don't understand the rabbit is among them. It's literally leading them. You need to talk to the only other kid in the room. Come with me, you whisper to Gabrielle as you grab her sleeve. She looks confused and concerned, but she follows you to a back corner behind a stack of oil drums. What's wrong? You're going to think I'm crazy, but your leader is the rabbit. You peer through a crack in the stack of drums to keep an eye on it. The rabbit is talking to a woman in a green tank top and camouflage pants.
Ava.
Or rather, she's talking to it. The rabbit is just standing and staring at her, expressionless. Gabrielle joins you to peek. How do you know? Because it's dressed like a rabbit, you say. You look at her carefully. Does she seriously not see it? It looks like a man to me. You feel your heart sink. But everything my dad said about how clever the rabbit is, I wouldn't put it past it to disguise itself like this. It feels so good to be believed.
It's
You just
interesting
want to
too
give it
that we don't get a
hug.
description of the man, and it's not
Like,
necessarily
no one's like,
Oswald.
this is whatever.
I think Oswald told Chip too what happened to his dad, so it's
Yeah.
clearly a different character.
Yeah, this is a different character, and they're saying this. No one said this is blah blah blah, and you never hear him talk to anybody. You just say that's a man.
They're like, this is the man, this is the leader.
Yeah. It feels so good to be believed. You just want to give her a big hug, but that would be weird considering you've only just met. I wonder why you can see it as its true self, she adds. You shake your head. I have no idea. Maybe it's because I time travelled. You time travelled? She looks seriously impressed. Yeah, that's how I met your dad. My dad? Yeah, we met in 1985 when I time travelled. He was just a kid, our age. It doesn't feel like this is the time to explain all this. That's crazy.
You're like, yeah, I'm glad I didn't miss
shrug.
anything up, because then you would blip out of existence.
Yeah, if I like pushed them down some steps by accident or something. You shrug. It's weird. When everything in your life is crazy, it all starts to feel very normal. My ear just popped. Weird. So, she says after you say nothing, what should we do? That's cool, I can hear better now. My ears are messed up. I was like, wow, surround sound hearing. I didn't realise I couldn't hear it with that ear. If both of you take down the rabbit, if there's nothing to do, it's too risky, it's better to just see what happens. The lie on the floor and give up option, that's always a good one. I think we would die if we give up, but I can try.
I think, I forget. I think take down is
the dangerous one where the two
Yeah.
of them just go and die.
Yeah.
We have to take down the rabbit. We can't let it manipulate all these people. Whatever it's planning, it's evil. I know that for sure. Gabrielle nods. I agree, but how do we take it down? You look around the room from your hiding spot and see the rope on the ground with the other weapons. Maybe we can trap it and then we can figure it out from there. Maybe if we tie it up, we can convince your dad and everyone else this is the rabbit. It'll buy us some time at least. William gets tied up all the time.
I know. He's like, that rabbit belongs in a snare.
Yeah, they'll like get the ropes. William's like, he's like, my knees, my back.
He dies in the net in the original ending.
Yeah.
So this is the right track, rabbit track.
He's like Superman, but his like weakness is shibari.
Oh no.
Maybe we can trap it and then we can figure it out from there. Maybe if we tie it up, we can convince your dad and everyone else this is the rabbit. It'll buy us some time at least. Yeah, that makes sense. Plus, I don't really think I'm up to killing anyone. I'm really up to killing anyone. He's like, I just don't feel like it today. I just don't think I've got the mood to kill someone today. You agree? That's kind of a crazy thought. And even though this rabbit has killed a bunch of kids and done something terrible to your dad, you don't think you're ready for that either.
Are we not?
Maybe in self-defense, but even then, the idea of ending a life is super heavy and
Is
a
it
bit
a
too
life?
real for you to
I
even
mean, that's
contemplate
kind
this
of a
carefully.
stretch. Like, what even are you dealing with
I know.
here? Is it alive?
I know, what is it? So let's get some rope, and then we need to find a moment when the rabbit's alone, you say, but we better have the rope at the ready. Totally. You make your way for your little hiding spot back out into the open. You're trying to be as chill as possible, just looking at everything everyone is doing.
The other problem with this, of course, is like, I always come back.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's like, is killing him really?
Literal catchphrase. You wander over to the woman in green and look down at the blueprints of Jeff's pizza she's studying. You see the ball pit in the corner. That should be our primary focus, you say. She looks at you. That's where the rabbit comes from. That's the portal to another time. She looks at you even harder. Just trust me on that one, you say, and slowly back away from her. You see her turn back to the blueprints and make a mark on the spot you were pointing out with a pen. Well, at least she's listening to you, even if she thinks you're crazy. You wander over to Chip and his weapons. You pick up a bat. It's weighted down with a barbed wire wrapped around it. You're reminded of how terrible you are at gym class. He's like 15. He's like got a nail.
Jake's good at baseball.
He's got a baseball bat covered
Oswald
in barbed
isn't.
wire. You okay? Yes, Chip. A little nervous, honestly. You put down the bat. You pick up a length of rope. I don't want, like, a weapon or anything. And I wouldn't let you have one anyway. Yeah, he's 15. You
Chip's
can't
like,
help but laugh.
come on, buddy.
It's weird to have you acting like an adult with me. Protective, you know? Chip grimaces, I guess. I just remember I didn't actually time travel. I've lived the last few decades of my life in real time. I've grown up. There's something harsh in the way he says grown up, but you can't tell if he's mocking you or he's mad about getting older. You can't really tell what's going on at all anymore. Totally, you reply. You back off, but take the rope with you. You meet back up with Gabriel, who's managed to grab some duct tape. Awesome, you say. Yeah, I figured duct tape is useful for all kinds of situations. Absolutely. You smile at each other. Now what? She asks. Now we wait. And that's exactly what you do. You wait and you watch until you're starting to feel a little bored. You understand why in the movies cops drink so much coffee on their stakeouts. You definitely need artificial help to stay vigilant when nothing is happening. But finally you see the rabbit cross away from the group and head towards an exit on the side of the building. You nudge Gabrielle, who nods back. The two of you stick to the shadows and creep along the edge of the barn, following it. You hold the rope so tight in your hands you can feel it scratching away the skin on your palms. You can do this. You can do this. You and Gabrielle follow the rabbit outside to a small dirt courtyard. It's empty except for a few piles of bricks in the corner. The rabbit's back is to you and you wonder for a moment what it's thinking. Does it even think? No, stop it. You have to act. The time is now. Now, you shout. You rush at the rabbit and aim for its lower half. It's too big to take down on your own, but if you can unbalance it and have it fall, well, that's a good start. You and Gabrielle tackle the rabbit together and it falls hard, face first onto the ground. You quickly reach the rope around its neck, but the head suddenly turns 180 degrees to stare right back up at you, causing you to flinch. That brief moment sets you off balance. It's an owl, yeah, it's the storyteller. That brief moment sets you off balance, and suddenly the rabbit has overpowered the two of you, and you're the ones now on the dusty ground. You lie there in horror as you see its jaw unhinge and its mouth open wide, producing a set of razor-sharp teeth. You and Gabrielle scream at the same time. Your screams are silenced by the slicing of teeth into flesh.
It bites both of you.
Yeah, he's just like,
Double casualty. Double kill.
There's nothing that Scott likes like a bit of war. He's like, num num. Right, so we'll just wait. Because we're kids and we're useless. We can't do anything. The adults won't believe us. Trust me, I've tried. I think we'll just have to wait and see what happens.
They've tried everything except feeding that rabbit.
I know, give him a slice of pizza and a hug. Hopefully
it
the
wants
rabbit
to
will
hug.
slip up.
It will hug you in the ball pit forever.
Yeah, as Darcy shut out the room, I could hear him saying, ma, ma, at the door.
It's slightly open. Hold on.
I think it's too narrow for him. Even though he's like a noodle. Yeah, I could hear him. He's like, ah. Was that door too closed, Paul? Oh, wow. Yeah, right. He was doing his little plight like, hey, hey. Right, let's see. No, 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 please, 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 sir, sir, sir. Do not step on my keyboard right now. You'll break everything. Right, hopefully the rabbit will slip up, you say. It's unsatisfying, but you know it's the right thing. It's not like you can just take on this crazy rabbit by yourselves. And you're in a room with a bunch of adults and weapons. Surely at some point that might help. Yeah, and it would be dangerous. I mean, I'm not even supposed to be here. I was supposed to be at school, replies Gabrielle. Yeah, me too. And for some reason, even though it's not the point of everything happening, you ask, what school do you go to? We just moved, so it was going to be my first day. Westbrook Middle School. You can't help but laugh. That's my school. Oh, funny. I guess we would have met there, huh? You nod and you wonder if in a different universe what would have happened if you just met
In
her as
a
a friend.
different
Oh, yeah, a
universe.
different universe.
What a weird turn of phrase
Yeah,
to be used
to be
in
just
these
friends.
books where they constantly use the word in a different universe.
If you just met her as a friend during a normal day under normal
You
circumstances.
might even say a different continuity.
Yeah. How weird normal seems now. Let's just wait it out and see what happens, you say, but let's make sure not to go anywhere alone. We don't want it to corner us or anything. I think we're safe as long as there are other people around. Makes sense. So that's what you do. You make your way for your little hiding spot back out into the open. You're trying to be as chill as possible, just looking at everything everyone is doing. You wander over to the woman in green and look down at the blueprints of Jeff Pizza she's studying. You see the ball pit in the corner. That should be your primary focus, you say. She looks at you. Yeah, that's that bit. Just trust me. You wander over to Chip and his weapons. You okay? A little nervous. I wouldn't let you have one. That's a repeat. Yeah, something harsh in the way he says grown up. Time passes. Oh, yeah, so there we go.
Mhm.
So you put down the rope and wander over to another group of adults sitting
Yeah,
and
there's a
talking with a
lot
small
even like
circle.
when it's not a repeat where they've repeated stuff.
Yeah. You feel safe keeping your back to the wall surrounded by adults, but you always keep an eye on the rabbit's whereabouts. You think it's probably doing likewise with you. Time passes and the sun starts to set. You can't believe you've been here all day. There's a shift in the energy then, and you sense that the time is coming soon. Time for action. Yeah, like you sense. Alright, everyone, let's do this, Chip announces loudly to the group. Everyone's up on their feet, finalising plans and grabbing weapons. Gabrielle runs over to you and looks at you with wide eyes. Yup, it's happening. What is happening? What will happen? That's a whole other question. Oz, Gabrielle, you're with me, said Chip, approaching. You'll stay in the car. Dad, we can help, insists Gabrielle, but you're not exactly upset to be left out of things. No, Gabrielle. As you follow Chip to the car, you run a little to step in next to him. Hey, can you make sure you look for my dad, you ask? Chip nods. It's just, he's in the ball pit somewhere. It's bigger than you think it is, like a whole pool, or maybe even the size of a lake, specifically a lake.
Yeah, the old
lake.
man consequences. Like I
Yeah.
know, like this should be an obvious connection. Like it's been, and this time it's emphasized so many times. It's like a
You need
body
to
of
really
water.
search.
It's like it's drowning. It's like a lake. Obviously, you know Williams, the bottom of the lake, and UCN and FNAF World and all that.
Giving friendly eyes to Darcy in case people are wondering why I'm
And
not drunk.
Dee Dee, who is like UCN's host, fishes for like balls at the bottom of like all the fish.
Yeah.
That's the game.
Also, Helpy. Helpy's fishing in a ball pit, literally in FNAF
Helpy
6.
fishes in a ball pit. That's right. Yep.
Like, that's literally what he does.
Yep.
Whatever it is. Yeah. No, that's him finding the gold memory or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
But that's what he wants. He wants to find someone in the pit.
Yeah, and he finds monsters in there too.
Yeah. Yeah, you can pull like a, don't bite me, Darcy. Go away. He's being too friendly, and when he's too friendly, he's gonna bite me in the arm. Let's see. Chip holds open the backseat door for you and Gabrielle hops in. He isn't making eye contact with you. Chip, dude, you say? Chip looks down at you. Please, my dad. He looks at you and you don't exactly know what he's thinking. Finally, he nods. After we take care of the rabbit, we'll find your dad. Thanks. Now get in. You jump in beside Gabrielle. The woman in the green tank top gets in the passenger side up front and Chip is in the driver's seat. Soon you're leading a caravan of cars and trucks down the... Stop it! He's trying to bite me, I told you.
Hold on. Here we go.
Because I'm not paying attention to him because I'm talking.
Here we go, buddy.
Soon you're leading a caravan of cars and trucks down the twisting driveway. In the dark, every new bend in the road that materialises is the glow, and the glow of the headlights feels like a threat, like something's ready to jump out at you. You turn around in your seat and squint through the headlights of the car behind you. You can't make out much, but you can see the silhouette of the rabbit in the passenger seat. He's not driving, he's just chilling. And sitting there just staring forward like it always does.
Who's driving?
Doesn't say.
Aww.
Just says the car behind you.
Okay.
You turn around again. You okay? Asks Gabrielle quietly. You nod, but you so aren't. You have a sinking feeling this is all some kind of trap, that you're all doomed. You arrive in town and pull up in front of Jeff's Pizza. The plan starts the moment the engines stop. Everyone barrels out of their cars and into Jeff's, weapons raised. We know you're in there, Chip calls out. You watch from inside the car as the rabbit walks inside after him. No, this is too much. This is too dangerous. You can't just let this happen. You fling open your passenger side door and race after Chip. Oh, as you hear Gabrielle cry, you know you're supposed to stay behind, but you have to do something, anything. You walk into the restaurant and see a very surprised Jeff.
Yeah,
he's like a mob. He's like, do you guys want pizza? Do you want to buy pizza?
Nobody explains anything to Jeff.
Yeah. He makes eye contact with you for a moment and you don't know what to say. Jeff, get into the kitchen, orders Chip.
Okay.
Jeff just kind of stands there in his usual kind of way. Now, Chip turns and yells at him. That definitely sparks action in the pizza chef, and Jeff sprints into the kitchen. He's like, fine. He's like, God. Where is it? Asked Ava in the green tank top. She's looking around, alert and holding her weapon in front of her. She must have some kind of
Ava's
army
a weird
training
character.
or something.
She gets a name and everything.
Yeah, and she's like an army person.
Doesn't Ava mean like bird? Like
don't know.
Aviary?
No, maybe, but I think there's like Ava's something. Like it's some name for the Bible. Breathe or live, but also bud or bud-like.
Bird, Latin, yeah.
Bud-like, lively. Yeah, because it's got bud connotations, but also like, yeah.
Oh, like Avatar.
Yeah, like breathe life into something. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Bird.
It's right there, you want to say, as you watch the rabbit watch them. It's just standing there over by its usual door. That stupid door that the mascot loves to hover around, but they can't see it. You look around at everyone, willing anyone to notice the rabbit. Your eyes fall into the ball pit. Wait, what are you doing? You realise suddenly this is your moment. Let them all hunt for the rabbit while you save Dad. You rush over to the ball pit and jump in without pause. You sink into the giant pool of balls and somehow they feel oddly comforting. They are the one familiar thing in a day of insanity. You reach around in the balls trying to feel for Dad. He's got to be here somewhere. He's got to be. You feel something with your hand. Hard with your hand. A shoe attached to a foot. You reach further, attached to a leg. It has to be Dad. You've found him. There's a sudden blood-curdling scream and you pull yourself up out of the pit to see what's happened. To your horror, the rabbit has attacked Chip, biting his head right off. Chip's body falls limp to the side. Ava screams again and this time fires off her weapon just as two other men rush the rabbit from behind with baseball bats.
Chip's dead.
The rabbit whirls and flails and you stand up in the ball pit. You're overwhelmed by the chaos and another shot rings out. Suddenly you feel something warm spread across your middle and you look down. You see blood and you reach to hold your stomach. The blood oozes around your fingers.
You got
more
shot.
Shots fired, more chaos. You slip down into the pit. You're in shock. Nothing hurts. You lie back. You let the balls cover you for good. He got fucking shot in the crossfire and we never find out if they managed to beat the rabbit.
Yes.
That's hilarious. So that's it. That's the only pass you can take.
That's right. So we gotta go back.
We've got to go back.
Way back.
Yeah, we have to go back to before the car.
We gotta go back to the pancakes.
Yeah, this all happened because we went
through pancakes at the
through
rabbit.
pancakes at the rabbit.
That's
yeah.
right.
I don't even think I can go back that far. Let's see if I've got a thing saved of it. 74. What's the last one?
Also, it says game over all the time. It said that for a week before as well, and
So for this one, we did this. Go to Jeff's.
no,
No, this
we
is
did
the
all that.
pancake one. Damn
Keep going
it.
back.
So 68, I think, is the previous one. Maybe. I think I made notes of these.
There's pancake.
There's the pancake one there. God.
Now,
Pretend the rabbit is dad.
pretend it's dad. Anyway,
Yeah. So this is like
yeah.
Oh my god.
So that was the kind of the odd side thing. We're back on track. Yeah.
Okay.
I like Chip. Mike kind of gets like
His head
Mr.
bitten off.
not appearing in this film.
You manage to swallow a few bites of breakfast sitting opposite the rabbit. It doesn't do anything and just sits there reading the paper. Mom chats happily with it though, explaining her plan for the day and talking about how exciting it is that their son is going into 6th grade. Of course, the rabbit doesn't respond, but she reacts as if it does. She even laughs as if it told a hilarious joke. What the heck? You finish breakfast and go upstairs to get ready for school. You tell yourself that at the least it's a way to get out of this house and away from the crazy rabbit. But how can you just go about a regular first day back to school with everything that's happening to you? And why can't you just run away? Go to the police maybe? Or even just a neighbour? Anyone could help. But then again, you tell yourself, if Mom sees the rabbit as dad, and Jeff sees the rabbit as dad, well, maybe all adults do. Maybe only kids and cats can see the truth.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Your cat is also aware of the situation and upset.
It's like, no, why is this happening?
And we just saw that it's not kids, it's Oswald and the cat.
Yeah. The rabbit drives you to school and you feel so alone and lost. Why is it doing this? What is its plan? If it wants to kill you, then it should just kill you. Why does it want to be dad of all people? Boring, cheap, tries too hard, loves stupid movies and terrible country music. Just wants you to have an okay summer. Dad, man, you miss him. And man, you feel guilty for getting so mad at him this summer. You'd be happy to have an argument with him right now and not be sitting in strange silence next to this decaying rabbit mascot.
Is it decaying?
Its fur looks even more matted and stained than yesterday, if that's possible. This is interesting because the rabbit is described slightly differently than Into the Pit.
Mm-hmm.
It drops you off at school and you wonder if any of the other kids can see the mascot in the car, but no one is paying attention. They're all excited to be back and hugging one another and catching up for the summer. You have no one to catch up with, so you walk to class alone. You sit at the desk, setting for the back on the right side. The same location you sit at in every classroom for every class every year. But there's no Ben on your left to talk to. You instinctively pull out your notebook, but you realise you can't even draw or doodle anymore. These Animal Band characters are now real. Even if they're not like real, you still saw them. You time travelled. Kids watched them play their little animatronic song. 5 dead kids in a storage room.
So that's interesting as well because
he's like, I've been drawing something that actually existed in the past, even though I didn't know what it was.
Well, in the other adaptations, we had 6, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there were 6 kids in the Into the Pit game, and it was half a dozen in the original book. And there were 6 kids drawn in the graphic novels. So
heads lolling to the side, empty dead eyes. You shove the notebook back in your bag and try to listen to the lesson instead. It's nothing you don't already know about integers, but it's better than thinking about the past or home. At lunch, you wander over to the old swing set at the far end of the schoolyard. No one ever hangs out there. The grass is all overgrown and the grounds crew seems to have forgotten it exists, but someone is sitting on one of the swings, a girl you've never seen before. Yeah, it'll be Gabrielle because she came to school this time because you didn't slow down.
Yep.
Oh, hi, you say.
In another universe.
You're not sure if you should sit or not. The girl looks up and smiles. Hi, I'm Gabrielle. I'm new. I'm Oswald. You don't know what else to say. It's nice to meet you. She seems happy about that even though she's all the way over here on her own as if she's trying to avoid people. It's weird these are the only swings, huh? Yeah, they came and tore down the old jungle gym 2 years ago for safety reasons, you say. Now it's just a slide and that climbing rock thing. You both look back towards the school where everyone else is hanging out and playing. Well, it's okay. I like to read during lunch anyway, she says. You notice the book and all that. Oh, sorry, I'll leave you alone. You feel instantly guilty for bugging her. No, it's nice to have company and to make a new friend. Sit. She seems to really seems to mean it, so you sit on the other swing next to her. Say something, Oswald, you tell yourself. Be friendly. What's the book about? Gabrielle beams at the question and holds the book up so you
Medieval
can see
torture.
the cover. Gods and Monsters is written across it in big bold letters. And there's a picture of a giant monster with many heads on a long snake-like neck. That's the Hydra.
Mm-hmm.
Which again, like, William is like the Hydra in this world because you like kill him and he's in like multiple universes.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I see.
You know, like he always comes back. You know, like
Mhm.
you can't chop. You have to kill the body. You can't just chop the heads off. I think
Mhm.
is the implication of that.
It's one of the
Yeah,
well,
the Hercules like trials or whatever. Looming over a small figure in the foreground, the figure is holding up his sword to battle it. It's about Greek myths. It's so cool. She points to a picture on the cover. This is the Hercules myth that I just finished reading about him fighting the Hydra, and now I've started reading about Theseus. The ship of Theseus, is that not where like everybody in literary terms, the ship of Theseus is like where something gets changed so much but is the same thing? Is that not? Is that why am I just thinking of something else?
No, that's right.
It's where all the component parts of something are switched out,
Yeah.
but it's still the same thing. That's like William being possessed by agony. You
Yeah.
know, like all of his human parts are replaced by the monster.
Yes, but the original Theseus was the Minotaur guy.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, in terms of like, if I was an author, that ship of Theseus metaphor is the closest thing at hand. Obviously, there's more depth to the myth and everything. Yeah. I'm just thinking superficially. Hydra is like hard to kill. Theseus is like things replaced.
Yeah. Yeah, they're both pretty interesting, questions. Hercules, in the Man in Room 1280, which
yeah, the Heracles Hospital.
I discussed it a little bit on Blue Sky, but so we think that the name Man and 1280 that it may be a reference to the year that Hercules would take place in, like BC.
Yeah, it's weird.
And there's a lot of comparisons, like the hospitals, Hercules Hospital, the Cerberus is there. A lot of comparisons to William to Hercules. The reason that Hercules had to do all of his trials and became a hero in the first place is because he killed his family. And like William, he's like William killed his family as well.
Yeah.
Ultimately. So yeah, a lot of comparisons between Hercules, the Greek hero, and
I guess we'll just ask her about both. Let's see.
Yeah, check out both.
Huh, I've never heard of Theseus before, I don't think. Who's that, you ask? You've obviously heard of Hercules, and he's been in a ton of movies and stuff, but this guy, no idea. I guess he's not as well known as Hercules, agrees Gabriel, and you smile. It's nice to have a kind of normal conversation, even though it's really weird to have a normal conversation when everything in your life is anything but. Yeah. Well, from what I understand so far, Theseus was tasked with killing a minotaur at the centre of this huge cavernous maze called a labyrinth. They focus on the labyrinth part, that's interesting.
Yeah.
A minotaur, a monster with a bull for a head and a human body. Yeah, that's that animalistic hybrid thing.
Mm-hmm.
You can't help but think of your monster with a rabbit for a head. He's like, punches it on the nose. He's like, my rabbit is like this. Oh, cool, but it doesn't actually feel like it. Anyway, Theseus becomes friends with the princess, Ariadne. Oh my god, Darcy, why are you so much shenanigans? He almost threw up on the table. And she gives him a string that he can unwind as he travels in the maze so he doesn't get lost. That's all I've read so far, but I think it's really interesting. She's super into telling you all this, and her enthusiasm is contagious. Again, this is like Cassidy stuff as well, you know?
I know,
like
I think
the maze
so.
and the golden thread.
The princess that helps.
Yeah. I like that string idea. It's super simple but really smart. Sometimes simple is the best solution. Oh my god. Scott, I'll kill you.
Scott, I know.
Scott, I will kill you. I swear to God. Sometimes simple is the best solution. I'm like, we're all going mad here. Like, everyone has lost their mind. The bell rings and lunch is over. You walk back to the school building together, agreeing to make your lunch hang a regular thing. It's really nice to know that even with Ben gone, you can make a new friend and someone who actually lives in your time. Shoot, that pit in the stomach feeling is back. Dad gone, rabbit at home, kids dead. Why does your life have to be a living nightmare? Why can't you ever just be a normal kid? So we'll go back and we'll also...
And I'll do a little bit of backstory about the Minotaur because it's a little important because this story, the Minotaur, also involves kind of the famous...
Minotaur was a tragic figure, ultimately.
But it also involves the inventor of the Minotaur's maze, which... Yeah. Oh, hold on. Could you pause it 1 sec?
Pause it?
Yeah, pause.
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah, so I want to see.
Oh no, I was just saying. Okay, so it involves the inventor of the maze. So the whole story about the Minotaur is that essentially there was a king, and he had a really fancy bull that he was like a magic bull that he was supposed to sacrifice to the gods, and it was so fancy he didn't want to do it. So as punishment, the gods made his wife fall in love with the bull, and she couldn't figure out she was like, well, I love this bull, so what can I do? And the inventor guy was like, I'll help you figure out a
Are
way.
you gonna get us demonetized with
No,
Greek stories?
no. I could keep it clean. Figure out a way to help. So he made an invention for her, and she and the bull created together the Minotaur. That's where the Minotaur came from. And then the king was like, "Oh no, we have a monster. The queen gave birth to a monster. So now what can we do?"
The queen
So
like, damn it, I didn't expect that to happen.
the inventor Daedalus, whose fault this
Why are
was,
these myths like this?
was like, okay, I'll build a maze and we'll keep the Minotaur in there. So they built the big maze for it, and they had to like sacrifice, like, I think there was another city that
They
would
probably
send
could have built a more enriching like enclosure for it.
princesses and princesses to like sacrifice to it or whatever all the time. But also after this, Daedalus was like in hot water, was in trouble, and he was like, I think I probably need to leave this kingdom. So he and his son Icarus, they kept Daedalus in a tower, and he and his son Icarus, he built wings so he could fly out over the ocean. And
You don't have to go into like the whole of Greek myth.
well, it's basic. This is pretty much it. So, in Icarus, he flies too close to the sun, his wings melt, but Daedalus escapes. Okay. Anyway, that's the whole thing with the Minotaur, Daedalus, inventors, mad inventors, their lost son, and
I'm so mad right now because I was like, good, I don't have to listen to Greek myth stuff. And now I do. And I'm like, why have you done this to me, Scott?
Scott Cawthon says that the Greek myths are important for understanding the story of FNAF.
I don't care. That's really cool. Hercules fought that crazy looking monster, you ask? You've obviously heard of Hercules before. He's some kind of ancient hero. Plus, there are like a million movies about him, but you realise you don't actually know that much about the guy, just his name, really. You lean in to look more closely at the book's cover. The monster makes you think a bit about those old kaiju movies Dad likes so much. You feel a pit in your stomach when you remember what happened to him. He feels a pit in his stomach a lot, like grief is a pit for him. You feel extra lost that for one small moment you actually forgot about it. That's maybe the worst part about horrible things happening. Life also happens, and sometimes life makes you forget the horrible thing, and then it just makes you feel super guilty. Yeah, Hercules has all these challenges he has to do, and one of them is fighting a hydra that regrows its heads when he chops them off. It feels impossible to defeat it, but then he thinks the strategy through and realizes he has to solder the necks shut with fire so they don't grow back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the fire.
He was a warrior, but also a super cool problem solver.
Mm-hmm.
She's really into telling you all these details, and her enthusiasm is contagious. I really like that. You say and you smile at each other. Could it be you've made a new friend?
It's interesting too, because the end of Pizza Sim, we see that we try to use fire in order to
to get rid of the agony.
Keep things from coming back over and over. That's what Henry's intention is. So, I think there's a whole bunch of jokes like in fan art and fan fiction and everything, but like that Henry's just like a pyromaniac and just likes fire or whatever. But I think we see over and over again that agony and everything else are energy, and they're affected by heat. And when you see fires, especially like the FNAF 3 fire, when you see the fire in Pizza Sim, we're seeing a scientific application of something in an attempt to control agony, I think. So, don't know if it worked.
I really like that you say and you smile at each other. Could it be you've made a new friend? The bell rings and lunch is over. You walk back into the school building together, agreeing to make your lunch hang a regular thing. It's nice to know. Yeah, I've already read that. Why does your life have to be a living nightmare? Why can't you ever just be a normal kid? A living nightmare. The school day ends all too quickly. As the clock ticks away above the door, you realise that very soon you'll have to return to your house and the whole rabbit situation, that Dad is still missing and you've done absolutely nothing to find him. You've wasted a day relearning all the things you supposedly forgot over the summer, except you never did. You should have skipped the first day back and just gone right to Jeff's after the rabbit dropped you off. That would have been the smart decision. Man, you've never felt quite so stupid as you have these past 24 hours. As you walk down the front steps of the school, you hope that maybe Dad will appear to pick you up. Or maybe no one will come and you can walk home or run away or something. But sure enough, there it is, that terrifying rabbit waiting for you at the drop-off spot,
We had
sitting
to, you had
behind
to
the
wait
wheel of
in
the
the
car.
like the we used to have a little like you had to wait in a line like with the cars, and then they would come.
This time the place is swarming with kids, and you look around to see if any of them notice the rabbit in the driver's seat. But no one seems to notice, or at the very least seems to care. You feel like a rabbit mascot in a car would be a big hit for kids, and you think maybe this means that only you can see it. Maybe you're the only one who's meant to, or maybe you truly are going crazy. How do you know if you're just seeing things? How do you know if anything is real? You don't exactly have time to think about that kind of thing, and you're still trying to keep the creature as calm as possible, so you get in the car and you let it drive you home. The second you get inside, you dash up to your room, shut the door behind you, and this time drag your desk chair in front of it for good measure. You throw your backpack on the bed and land beside it with a similar thump. You lie there for a moment trying to think what you should do. Your mind is a blank. You decide to reach for your bag and maybe try to do homework or something, anything to get your brain working again. You open your bag. Just your books and your homework. There's no way you can do homework if you change your mind and close the bag here. If you see the bunny ears you won back in 1985, if you see the flashlight you won back in 1985, so we definitely have bunny ears. I've got a flashlight as well. Right, hold on, you can note of this page. 78.
You're like, we're finally the bunny ears.
You won in 1985, nestled in the bag, kind of hiding behind a book in your gym shorts. Just a little yellow fuzz poking out of the black void. You suddenly have a super crazy idea. What if you put them on? Maybe if you did that, the rabbit would think you were also a rabbit and leave you alone. It's a wacky idea, almost too wacky. Is this a situation where it's so crazy it just might work? Or, just crazy?
This obviously doesn't happen in either. This is a new thing.
What have you got to lose at this point? Well, maybe the only way to fight crazies with a little bit of crazy. If you put them on, yeah, what the hell? Let's go for it. You pull the ears out for the depths of the bag and hold them in your hand. You don't remember them looking quite this ridiculous before. You suppose that in 1985 things tend to look less so because, well, everything is over the top. The bright neon, the huge hairstyles, the wild makeup choices that some of the girls had with the bright blue eyeshadow and super pink lipstick. Everything's gaudy and fake looking, so a pair of yellow fuzzy bunny ears are practically understated. Also, when you're surrounded by flashing games and a wall of prizes, it all kind of just blends together. Anyway, even if you feel a little silly doing this, you made a decision and you might as well try. Here goes, quite literally nothing. You put them on and feel stupid. Really, really stupid. William's like, hey, you're not stupid. Something sharp on each side of the plastic bands, just by the top of your ears, suddenly pierces into your skull, clamping onto it hard. It's shocking and sudden, and you should cry out in pain, but for some reason you actually feel quite relaxed. Really relaxed. Super relaxed. It's like the stabbing into your flesh is a welcoming feeling, something you realise you've always needed and now finally have. You feel good. You feel very bunny. You are one with being a bunny. Oh no! I'm like, it's me. Yes, this is right. This is good. You get up and cross your room, floating almost like you're on a cloud of contentment. You go downstairs and sit at the table with Mom and the rabbit who've already started eating dinner. You smile at them. Mom is wearing bunny ears too, and she smiles at you. And the rabbit, well, it can't exactly smile back, but you sense that it is smiling somewhere inside that costume. You're a family, a happy little bunny family. This is the beginning of the rest of your life. What the fuck was that ending? What?
It's very
Become bunny?
It's very Vanny, isn't it?
Yeah.
And yeah, because remember you put the VR mask on and it's like, ow.
Yeah, it's like, ow, I'm a bunny now.
What was that? And they're like, oh, that's the implants. The occipital implants. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, it's fine. You're just a bunny now.
Yeah, and we got that previous one from the hats being mind control hats. So
what happens if you just go, I don't want to do that? Does it just send you back? So this is if you say, I don't want to.
Okay.
So you lie there, you let your eyes get fuzzy and all your thoughts wash over you. You don't grab any in particular. You just sort of watch them as they float by. You're kind of tired of your thoughts, if you're honest. You'd be really happy not to think for a while.
That's actually that's a Zen technique. when you're meditating or doing yoga, you lay back and you look and you like kind of you try to imagine your thoughts as like leaves passing like in a pond above you. So that's kind of interesting that it mentions
Time
it there.
passes and your stomach rumbles. It must be getting close to dinner time, and living nightmare or not, you're still a human who needs to eat. Do rabbit mascots need to eat? You shake off the thought and sit up. Okay, you'll go downstairs. Just quickly eat something. You need your strength to survive all this. So you push your desk chair to the side, open your door, and go downstairs to the kitchen. The rabbit has heated up some microwave dinners that your family only eats for emergencies. Another clear sign this is so not your dad. If the whole large yellow rabbit mascot thing wasn't evident enough.
Is
Hey,
your
you
dad a
say,
better cook than that?
I guess. Trying to be chill and feeling anything but. Of course, the rabbit doesn't say anything back. You glance down its open mouth, hoping to see the person inside the costume just once, but again, all you see is blackness.
This
The
is-
shadow? Yeah.
This is interesting as well. Yeah, him continually looking for the person in the suit and not being able to find it.
You eat your food, then you wonder if anyone has given anything to Jinx in a while. You couldn't imagine the rabbit would. You wonder if she's come out from hiding at all today. I'm just gonna take some milk up to Jinx, you say, as if the rabbit cares. You head back upstairs, careful not to spill the milk. Jinx slinks up to you from her hiding spot, and you and she go into
The
the
feeding the
safety of your
cat
room.
milk is such an odd
I know,
like it feels like a 1950s cartoon. Like, does anyone
Yeah.
actually feed cats
Some
like,
people do.
bowls of milk?
Yeah, a lot of people do, even though they're lactose intolerant,
yeah.
and it just gives them poops. You put the bowl down for her and she laps at it hungrily. Yup, it seems everyone's a little hungry right now. Stupid rabbit. Stupid, terrifying, horrific rabbit. Stupid, sexy rabbit.
Well,
Stupid,
he
sexy
doesn't say that.
Flanders. You feel that it's just the way he's like, stupid, baba rabbit. You feel this spark deep inside you flare up again. You can't live another day like this. It's too crazy and too awful. You have to save Dad. Tonight you'll sneak out and save him. That's all there is to it. You'll do it tonight late when Mom and that thing are asleep. You'll sneak out and rescue Dad and everything will be okay again. Time passes stupidly slowly and you can't get any sleep. Anytime you do try and close your eyes, sudden flashes of the animatronic band rush forward in your brain, like the worst kind of horror movie jump scare. So you just lie there staring at the ceiling, straining your ears to hear sounds from below, waiting for complete silence. You look at the clock, it's 10 p.m, that's late enough. You sit up and grab at your backpack since that's what you usually do. And this one's weirdly, it's got the bunny ears or no bunny ears.
We have a pair of bunny ears.
There are those damn bunny ears still sticking up from behind your gym sock. Yeah, he's like, do I want to?
It's
like,
time.
No, it's time? Why is it time now, but it wasn't before?
Well, I don't know.
Oh my god. You pull the ears out from the depths of the bag and hold them in your hands. You don't remember them looking quite this ridiculous before. But this is another ending like this. Mm-hmm. See it? Even though you feel silly, you feel relaxed, you feel good, you wander out. You're looking for the rabbit and head to your parents' room. You discover the rabbit lying on the bed on top of the covers with Mom next to it. They are watching some kind of documentary on bunnies on the TV. Oh, and look, Mom is wearing bunny ears too. You go and sit between them. Mom gives you a little squeeze and you sink back in the pillows next to her. This is exactly what you wanted, to sit with your bunny family watching your bunny show. You look at the rabbit who looks at you, and even though its expression doesn't change, you know it's happy too. Family night. Together you all watch the show forever.
So this is what the rabbit wants.
Yeah.
Like, he keeps asking, why doesn't the rabbit just kill me?
But the rabbit wants him to be on its side, like to be part of its family again.
Yeah.
It's William's desire to have his family back.
This little brainwashed bunny family.
Yeah, where he's like everyone happy and controlled.
Scott's like, who wants bunny ears on all the characters?
Yeah.
Why don't we have a little think about which character wants that?
Yeah.
Just a little thinkaroo.
Oh, this is clearly the mimic. This is the mimic controlling people, even though it's literally literally the guy who cares about bunnies and nothing but bunnies. People are like, William doesn't care that much about rabbits. I'm like, I'll kill you. I'll actually kill you. Oh my god. William doesn't care about rabbits. He doesn't. The mimic likes rabbits more. Where did you get the idea that the mimic likes the rabbits from? Trace it back to its stupid origin, which is it copy William. And then you say, William like rabbits? And they go, no. And I'm like, oh my god. I get so mad when I think about it. I'm not going to think about it. I'm going to let it all go and become Bunny.
Bunny.
Yeah. Right.
Bunny family. Bunny night.
We could have a bunny family if you weren't a
I'm
weird,
not a bunny.
like, plant
These
thing.
aren't bunny ears.
No, they're, I don't know what they are, dog ears?
They are.
That's
I'm
cute.
a puppy.
A plant pea.
A poppy. I can't do poppy because it's already.
Yeah. Let's see. Right, so no bunny ears. We're not putting the bunny ears on. We're throwing them away. It's time to go. Stop procrastinating. So we did have a flashlight as well. Do you want to go back and see what the flashlight does?
Sure.
Because we did have a flashlight on page 78.
Also, what happens if we continue to... Oh, that's if we continue to ignore the... Okay.
So we've got a flashlight.
Yeah.
Right, so this just leads back to the bunny ears.
If you have the pair of bunny ears. We do have the pair of bunny
We
ears.
do have them, but we won't use them.
We
won't put them on.
Is there... I wonder if there's going to be a time when...
A what?
A time... Can we put the bunny ears on him?
Just slaps them on him.
Like extra.
Yeah.
Like...
Become bunny squared.
We're going deep. We're going in.
Bunnyception. Would you be happy in a world where everything was bunnies? Probably. It's time to go. Stop procrastinating. The house has been still and silent forever now. The longer you wait, the more you risk something weird happening. You put the bag down and get up carefully and quietly. You have no idea where the rabbit is in the house, but you know it wouldn't be happy with you rescuing your dad. Hopefully it's still sleeping in Dad's room. Regardless, you'll need to be sneaky. You tiptoe across your room to your door and see that Jinx has fallen asleep in front of it. A very cute, if useless guard. That's cats for you, innit? She's in a tight little ball, holding the tip of her tail between her two front paws. You can't help but smile. You don't want to bother her. Do we, wake the cat up or not is the choice? I'm like,
Well, it's whether you want to, go around or step over.
I don't know. If we step over her, I think she's going to jump. But we'll see. Jinx wakes up and blinks sleepily as you pass over her. She looks a little annoyed that you've woken her up. So I'm just going to check what the other one does. Go around. As you step to the side, you accidentally step onto Jinx's milk bowl. I knew this was going to happen. I do this all the time, is fall over cat bowls. Shoot, you totally forgot about it. You trip and fall on the floor, spilling milk everywhere. The soggy wetness seeps into your socks and jeans. Jinx wakes up with a yowl and runs away to hide under your bed. Great, just great. You've made a mess, but you're definitely not about to cry over spilt milk. Should you get changed before you try and sneak out? It seems like a lot of work to do in the moment. You decide to continue with your plan and push against the door to stand up. Before you can even get to your feet, the door to your room flings open. The rabbit is there. It has heard the commotion. It stares down at you. It knows you're up to something. Hi, you say, trying to sound as casual as possible. It stares for a moment longer, then suddenly opens its mouth wide, so wide it unhinges its jaw like a snake.
Why?
You still can't see
We're
the
at
person
home.
in the suit, but you see rows of
We're allowed to walk
teeth.
around in our own house.
You cry out and raise up your arms to save yourself, but they do nothing to protect you as the rabbit attacks.
Ridiculous.
He made a mess. He's like, I've had enough of you. You're not bunny.
We were gonna clean it up.
I know, he's just grumpy.
This family sucks.
He's just grumpy.
Can't do anything.
It comes to... you don't want to worry about her safety. Well, when it comes to Jinx, maybe the rabbit should be the worried one. She's little, but she can be scrappy. It's one of the many things you love about her. You turn the back to the door and take in a deep breath. Then you carefully turn the doorknob and pull your door open inch by inch, slowly and carefully. You're proud you don't make a sound as you enter the hallway. You just have to keep this up for a little longer. Take things one step at a time and make it downstairs. You walk slowly down the hall towards the top of the staircase, but then notice the bathroom. If you decide to use the bathroom before you leave, or if you skip the bathroom, I will use the bathroom because I think there will be a mirror in the bathroom, and I'm interested in how he interacts with the mirror. You head quietly to the bathroom, but once you're in there, you change your mind and realise you don't want to risk using it because you'll make noise flushing the toilet and running the tap. They might be normal nighttime noises, but right now you actually think any noise is probably a bad idea. You don't want the rabbit to even remember you're in the house at all, let alone question if your late night bathroom habits are sincere or not. You take a moment to gather yourself and plan your next move. You stare at your reflection.
I just want to go to the rabbit and be like, hey, look, dude.
I know, I'm like, guys. You stare at your reflection in the mirror in the medicine cabinet. You didn't turn the bathroom light on, so you are lit for the side by the streetlight outside the window. It creates weird shadows across your face. You look tired, but also not like you. like a weird distorted monster version of you. This is the Mike scene.
Yeah.
That's why I was like, I want to go to the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
You shake your head to rid it of that thought. This is weird. Like,
Mm-hmm.
is Oswald Mike? Like, is that what's happening?
See, now here's another question.
Like, you've got the whole, like, this is the middle scene.
Yeah.
He wakes up and he's 40. You know,
Yeah.
he's like, crap, I'm old. Like, there's all these weird things.
So that's the extra question I have, which is, so what would happen? Okay, say what would happen if, you know, you and I...
again, we have the game Oswald is so connected to Foxy, which was my big thing.
Yeah.
Like, is he Foxy? Like, is he connected to Foxy? And Mike liked Foxy when he was a kid.
So what would happen, say we're ghosts, right? And someone wants to put us somewhere to occupy us for a little while. It puts us into little stories. What if it puts us into Alice in Wonderland? And I'm Alice and you're the rabbit, you know. And we hang out and we do the story. Maybe we do the story a bunch of times. And then maybe we get put in another story. You know, I had wondered if that was maybe something that is happening
for me,
to
it's
characters,
just
but
interesting. Like, this feels like maybe Mike's Loop is like an endless summer where he's like at Freddy's and he's like, why do I know these characters? You know, like, I shouldn't know these characters. You know, but he doesn't.
Yeah,
he doesn't draw Foxy either.
Like, I know we have the
because
parallels.
Mike's got a real like you know, he's got like a suppression of like Foxy because he has trauma around it. Foxy's not here other than that one like
image in the alleyway.
Yeah, the alleyway.
I think that's a question that I've asked. I'm not sure about it. Not sure.
Again, it's something that I feel like this is the like Scott. Who fell down the well? You know, like Lassie. And I feel like the Mike connection has always been there. Like, day one, when I first read Into the Pit, I was like, this is about Mike and his relationship with his dad as a monster when he kills all the people and how that changes him. And then it gets further and further away from that, but it seems to sometimes like look back. I just don't know. But yeah.
But if it is the case, then Henry and William definitely got married in Lolly's game.
Yeah.
I don't know if the parallel. I don't know. Again, I don't know if it's like if there's an undercurrent story that Scott's trying to tell along with the original story. There's intentional overlap here, or if these characters genuinely have been put in other roles with other memories and things to live out a simulation as one way of keeping them occupied. I don't know.
You shake your head to rid it of that thought and quickly open the medicine cabinet to hide for the mirror. All the usual stuff is in there. Toothpaste, toothbrushes, Tylenol, Dad's razor, and Jinx's syringes and medicine that you give her to make her sleep when you're travelling long distances with her. She gets really anxious and upset otherwise, poor thing. Yeah, like just travel anxiety. You sigh and close the medicine cabinet door. If you head downstairs, you have an idea that maybe you could use Jinx's medicine on the rabbit. Oh my god.
Drugs.
We're going to drug that rabbit. We're going to drug that bunny. Gonna drug him good.
Bunny.
As quietly as possible, so quiet it makes every small sound echo like a rock tossed down a hollow well. You creep into your parents' bedroom. There's the rabbit lying on the bed, its head on Dad's pillow. Mom still hasn't come home from the hospital. It must have been a tough shift. You look at the rabbit carefully, trying to examine the situation. It's really hard to assess what's up with a mascot.
This is weird too, right? We did another ending in the same situation, and we come down and Mom is there too, right?
Yeah. They always look exactly the same and their eyes don't close when they sleep, but the rabbit is unmoving and its breathing seems slow and measured. Maybe it actually is asleep. How can you know for sure? You're suddenly not so confident about your plan. The idea of entering the room, crossing over to your dad's side of the bed, and stabbing this creature with a syringe seems incredibly stupidly dangerous now.
No.
Do you drug the rabbit regardless of your fear?
Yes. What are we here for? Why not?
Why not? Yeah, we don't care. You take in a deep breath and release it very slowly through your mouth. You can do this, but you only have one shot at this, literally and metaphorically. So you need to be patient and take your time. One foot in front of the other, step by step, you carefully walk over to Dad's side of the bed. Being this close to the rabbit makes your stomach clench and your pulse quicken. You can also now smell that weird, stale, mouldy scent that seems to live in the terrible matted yellow costume. It makes you a little dizzy and nauseated, but you are focused. He smells worse when he sleeps. That's funny, like nightmare generated. You raise your hand above your head and aim the syringe right at the rabbit's heart, or at least where you hope a heart is. Does such a monster have a heart? Literally? Metaphorically? You bring your hand down fast, but suddenly the rabbit has you by the wrist.
Now, is the evil smell mold? Now, that's interesting because mold is sort of That's very
I don't know if
interesting.
it's mold. I don't know, but it could be.
If evil smells like mold, it's because you see like there's black dripping down the walls and things for agony,
Yeah.
like literally. And mold is kind of it's a strange substance, right? It's not a plant exactly. It's
I
not
don't
a
like mold.
yeah,
Glasgow has a big mold problem. It
and
always
it
has.
takes over things and it causes hallucinations a bit, doesn't it too? And illness.
Yeah, it can cause all sorts of stuff like asthma and stuff. You cry out and try to wrench your arm free, but it has you tight in its grasp. You pull and the rabbit tackles you off the bed and onto the floor. You're pinned beneath it. It's the rabbit's turn to pull its hand back high over your chest with the oh my god! It's the William stabbing the syringe
Yeah.
scene. No, you cry out, but it's too late. You feel the sharp stabbing pain of the syringe piercing your chest. You open your eyes wide and gasp, and then you feel a heaviness overtake you. You close your eyes to sleep. You never wake up.
Carlton gets stabbed in
Yeah.
the heart with the syringe, not of like cat medicine, but it's
Yeah.
remnant
So
in
no.
the fourth closet. And William's like, "Oh, you brought me my syringe. Thanks, bud.
So no, we're not.
You can have it back though."
Why does a simple set of stairs used every day suddenly look like some intimidating obstacle out of a high-level video game? And how are you supposed to approach going down them without making a sound and drawing the attention of a freaky rabbit? Either you go slow or fast. I think like going downstairs, I don't know. There isn't a quiet way to go downstairs. Quietly. Right, so that works. So let's go down them fast and get eaten. No. So front door, back door, and then this way is run for it or freeze in place.
I think if you go too slow, the rabbit's
Yeah,
gonna
the rabbit's down there.
get you. I think this is the more indie.
Yeah. Well, you'll be the tortoise to defeat the rabbit. You take them one by one. There's no one there, just a deep blackness of shadow. You release a sigh and take another slow step. You complete the step, the creek finishes, and you stand there still. Nothing. You dare to look over your shoulder. There in the dark's a familiar silhouette, the rabbit. You turn and face downstairs. What do? If you run for it or freeze in place? Freeze in place? Game over. You will not move an inch. You're so determined you hold your breath and swell your pulse to slow down. You hear the rabbit move towards you. It's being careful, methodical, taking steps one by one, slow and steady, winning the race. Maybe that gives you an advantage. After all, you're the tortoise in this situation. You hear it come right
This
behind
is
you.
a weird thing to bring back because this is from VIP, right?
You can smell that musty, moldy smell for that matted yellow costume. You can hear it breathing. The fact it can breathe at all unsettles you. Either a person truly is wearing this costume, which is a terrifying thought, or this is a living, breathing monster that looks like someone in a mascot costume, which is also petrifying. Either way, whatever this thing is, it seems to be alive. You stand there for what feels like hours. Finally, you hear the rabbit start to back away up the stairs, and the breathing sounds vanish. With effort, you can hear the sound of retreating footsteps. And yet, you stay still just to be safe, just for a moment longer. Finally, after probably a little too long, you release a sigh of relief. You are suddenly grabbed from behind by a pair of yellow arms. They're the last thing you ever feel or see. He's like, doesn't move, and he's like, I'll let you stand there, and then kills him anyway. I'm like, bro. Right, so you just, I don't know if you make a run for it, I don't know. Yeah, so then immediately you run right into him, I guess. You tumble down the bottom of the stairs, and then he eats you. Yeah. Yeah, so these two are dead ends. So we have to go slowly. No, we have to go fast. We've got to go fast like Sonic.
Yeah. You learned this lesson already.
I know I've learned this lesson thoroughly in the last week or two. You charge down the stairs into the dark below as fast as you can. Your footsteps sound crazy loud and you almost tumble down the steps head first. But you manage to stay upright and land at the bottom. You stop yourself at the front door, standing as still as you can. You crane your neck to hear the rabbit's footsteps racing after you, coming in for the attack, but all you can hear is the thudding of your heart in your ears. You dare to glance over your shoulder. All you see is blackness at the top of the staircase. Your heart is still racing though. What are you waiting for? It's time to get out of here. You reach for the doorknob and then pause. A horrific reminder hits your brain just in the nick of time. The front door makes this high-pitched squeak when you open it. It's always been a comforting sound, a sign your mom's made it home safe late at night after a long shift. But tonight it's a lot more ominous, and it could definitely attract the attention of a creepy rabbit. Maybe you should use the back door instead, but that could waste precious minutes. I think we have to be careful. I don't know, go to the back door. Right, so that looks like a correct answer. Let's see. So let's try the other way. Open the front door. Dead. Yeah.
You can take the front door fine in the
Did the
game.
rabbit here too?
You can
You
just...
turn to see as if it did just as it launches itself at you, jaw unhinging like a snake. Yeah.
It's interesting because it kind of, this escape from the house kind of situation is something we see in the game, but different.
Yeah.
Because in the game you can just take each exit successfully.
Yeah, in the game you can do multiple escapes each day. Boy, am I glad we don't have to go through every single day, like school day, home, school day, home. Can you imagine? I would die. I'm already like, I just want to get to the new bits. I'm like drags because I know this too well. Come on, Oswald. We can do it, mate. You can go here. You're getting kind of good at this going carefully and staying quiet thing as you move as quickly as you think is safe down the hall to the kitchen and then to the back door on your toes. You hold your breath as you open the door, but it's always been nice and quiet and it doesn't let you down. No creaks here. Thank goodness. You step out into the cool evening air and shut the door as carefully and quietly as possible, hoping it doesn't click too loudly. You glance up at the window on the second floor, the one belonging to Mom and Dad's room, or Mom and the Rabbit's room now? No, that's just not a thing, and definitely won't be a thing after tonight, after you rescue Dad. You make your way down the side of the house to the street, and then, well, you start to run. You turn right and race out onto the dark street. You don't look behind you to see if the rabbit has figured out you've escaped yet. Instead, you just focus on the pools of light for the street lamps, dashing as fast as you can from one pool to the next, desperately avoiding the shadows.
Now, I want to just real quick revisit, just the idea that this is Mike in a like kind of a play-like situation. Yeah. So here's the other interesting thing about that. If this is Mike being put through a situation where he's like playing the role of Oswald, for instance, and living Oswald's life, the dad is kind of completely absolved in this, right? Like even like his relationship with his dad is repaired with this. They're like, there's this weird rabbit. He did all these mean things, but your dad was like a really good guy, and you can get him back, and he's fine, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of ultimately a pretty sinister tale.
Yeah.
In that respect. Yeah. Interesting. I'm thinking about Monster too. This.
You've never been that great at gym class or anything, but the need to rescue Dad and your fear of that stupid rabbit keep you running the whole way to Jeff's. Coach Garcia would be proud. You don't even realise you've run that far until you arrive outside Jeff's door. You're panting hard and sweat is pouring down your brow. Is this what it feels like to do sports? It's kind of exhilarating, you guess, but also kind of the worst. Mike likes sports.
Mm-hmm.
You try and catch your breath as you go inside Jeff's. You didn't actually worry it might be closed so late at night until you enter and realise, wow, Jeff stays open late. For what customers exactly, you wonder. But you're not going to question something you're so grateful for. It's like weed smokers.
What?
Like, no, like a pizza, like munchies, like late night stuff. I'm like that. He's like, yeah, people who like want food at night time. Oswald's like, I go to school. I don't need food at night.
Mm-hmm.
What would you have done if he'd closed? Break a window? Unlikely. Jeff looks at you funny. We only serve whole pies at night, he says. Oh, right, you need an excuse for being there. I just wanted a soda. Yeah, that's totally believable. What kid crosses town and shows up at a pizza place just to order a single soda? You inwardly roll your eyes at yourself, but Jeff just shrugs and goes back into the kitchen. Gotta put the next pie in the oven, I'll be back. Really, it's more than you could have asked for, because the second he disappears is the second you dash over to the ball. But as if he knows, he's like, I'm here for a soda. And he's like, looks at him and then he's like, I'm gonna leave.
I do in the background. Jeff's clued in. He's like,
you probably want the ball pit. I'ma leave.
He's like, do what you need to do, kid.
You stop yourself short, realizing you shouldn't just dive into it. You might be sent to 1985 in the murder restaurant.
The murder restaurant. Oh no!
And lean over the edge of the pit, rummaging as much as you can through the balls. He has to be in here. Surely he's in here. You're terrified Dad is in 1985, and then what will you do? It's not working. You can't feel anything. You have no choice. You have to go into the pit. You have to follow tradition. If you end up in the past,
Follow
well,
tradition.
hopefully Dad's there too. You dive into the pit and the balls cover you up, filling
He's
in
like,
any
this
space.
isn't called Return to the Pit for no reason.
Filling in any space, all three of them, and making you feel really claustrophobic in here for the first time.
Are you serious?
You think it's probably not about the ball pit itself. No, I just like.
No, I know.
Yeah, you think it's probably not about the ball pit itself. It's probably just you feeling trapped in the whole situation. Me too, Oswald. A kind of metaphor.
A metaphor. Oh my God,
A
Scott.
kind of metaphor.
Scott's like, it's kind of like a metaphor or whatever.
And then the FNAF fandom will like, no, you can't have metaphors.
Metaphors don't exist.
Only literals.
They ain't real. Scott doesn't know about them.
I know. And then you realise you haven't started to count to 100 yet, and you really can't waste time thinking about all this stuff. So you start to count to 100, and you just tell yourself you won't climb out of the pit or anything. You'll avoid the risk of 90. So again, right, it seems to be important that he counts. When do you hide somewhere and count? Like he's playing hide and seek. Yeah. And it won't work unless he's playing hide and seek. You'll avoid the risk of 1985 and stay safe under here and just keep looking for Dad. And when you find him, immediately count to 100 again. 100. You wait to hear the sound of 1985. You hope for the beeps and dings of arcade games, but you fear the screams. Instead, you feel something hard against your back and you spin in place. You reach out for it, a boot. You reach along the boot and feel an ankle. The sensation when you discover it's like being electrocuted. Dad, or you hope it is. There's a leg and a torso, and then you reach up for his face and hope it's a real one and not some stupid mascot head. And you take a deep breath. You feel skin and stubble. It seems so familiar. It has to be Dad. It has to be.
Stubble.
You quickly count to 100
This is a dad
again.
that doesn't have beard?
Yeah, he's just got stubble, I think.
This is a partially shaved dad.
Yeah. Then it's time to get the two of you out of this pit. You've read stories about moms lifting whole cars off their kids. How adrenaline does crazy things to the human body. Heck, it's made you run non-stop since Jeff's. But as you pull and pull at pull at who you really hope is Dad, you're struck by your ability to rise to the surface with him in your grasp. You emerge out of the ball pit mercifully at Jeff's and pull the body behind you. It's so heavy, yet somehow you're doing it. You drag the torso up above the balls. It feels impossible, but you do it. You turn and look at it. It's Dad. It's him. You found him. Oh, please don't be dead, Dad. Please. I'm so sorry for all our fights. They were so stupid.
See?
You think all this as you press your head to his chest, listening for a heartbeat. You think you can hear it. You hope you can hear it, and it's not just you wanting it to be there. You sit up and look at Dad in the pit.
Scrap trap.
How can you get him out of there and take him home? Jeff will probably find this all super weird, but he'd help, right?
Yes. Ask
well,
Jeff.
It's hard to say, really. He might just shrug and then go back into the kitchen like he pretty much does
like,
with everything.
whatever.
Yeah, that's still like waking Henry up, and Henry's like, goes back to sleep. He's like, no, I'm not doing it. You should probably call Mom, but would she be mad? After all, the last time you texted her, she didn't believe anything was wrong. Would it be the same now? The boy who cried rabbit? Suddenly you're grabbed from behind by a pair of yellow fuzzy arms. You flail and twist and kick. You're picked up in the air and turned around. You're fighting back, but your fighting back seems to have worked and it loses its grip on you. You escape and stare up, knowing full well what attacked you. The rabbit has found you.
Do we have the portrait of Henry and William with us?
I know, we need to throw a sexy picture in it of Henry and William. Let's see, 94. Not this time, Rabbit. If you rush at it with your own attack, or if you dive back, let's punch it. Who cares? We'll get killed, but who cares? No? Hold on, go back.
That's right.
I know, I don't want to, like...
Dive into the pit is.
Yeah. The ball pit, you just melt. You're trapped there.
Oh, hold on. Could you go back? Because that's a new...
Is it? I thought it was an old one.
I think it's a new one.
It's where it's like there's no up, there's no down, there's no escape. The world is plastic balls. You try to swim up to the surface, but there is no surface. Your body relaxes into the realization. You feel nothing but hopelessness, but in that feeling there's a sense of freedom. You don't care. You don't care about anything, about yourself, about Dad, about the rabbit. You're free from thought and worries and even boredom. You're free because you are trapped. You are trapped, floating in your sea of hard plastic and cloying colour. Yeah, it's like you give up, you get trapped in the ball pit like all the other souls, I guess.
Yeah.
And you don't think anymore. You don't resist.
Back to the pit. Back to the lake. Back to drowning.
Yeah.
Drowning ending.
So that's Punch's face. You spin to face the rabbit. It's standing between you and Dad, still in the pit, looming at you like it likes to do. No, not this time. Not this time. Your adrenaline's still coursing through you, and you rush the rabbit, launching yourself at its lower half. If you can push it off balance, maybe you can send it into the ball pit and back to 1985 where it belongs. It staggers back, not falling off its feet, but into the netting surrounding the pit. The useless netting that you realise finally has served its purpose of keeping people at bay in the worst
We
possible
caught a
moment.
fish.
The rabbit steadies itself and then with surprising speed lunges at you, pinning you against the wall by the pit.
Did that picture of the ball pit have netting? The one with
Yes,
the
really
two
crappy
balls?
netting. Yes, it did.
Okay.
It was like really faint, like crisscross netting. You struggle against its grip, but it has you held fast. Then it opens its mouth, that stupid, horrible mouth that you've been staring in, trying to see the person inside. That thing, it suddenly starts to open wider and wider, revealing yet more blackness and no humanity within it whatsoever. The jaw unhinges, revealing 2 rows of razor-sharp fangs. Your blood runs cold. You struggle as hard as you can against the rabbit's grip as it lunges for your throat. Somehow you manage to block it with your arm, and the teeth drive deep into your skin, your flesh hitting bone. It's pain unlike anything you've felt before, and you cry out loudly. The blood drips down your arm, and you feel yourself getting weaker, not only physically but also mentally, like your energy and will to fight back is seeping out of you along with your blood. You feel hopeless and scared. And then for some reason you remember Gabrielle and her book. If you remember the story of Theseus and his string, or if you remember the story about Hercules and the Hydra. So I'm guessing we either burn him.
So the story of Theseus was sometimes simple solutions are best.
Yeah.
And the story of Hercules was sometimes we can use a clever solution to
Yeah, and also fire.
Fight with our wits.
This one also was like burn it with fire.
So it's a simple solution or a with our wits.
Let's do the simple one. You remember Theseus and how he had his friend Princess Ariadne to help him, how you wish you had one now.
Mm-hmm.
You feel certain Gabrielle would actually come to your aid. You only just met, but she was really nice and enthusiastic about everything you had to say. She seems to genuinely enjoy your company. Besides, she loves reading about heroes. You bet she wouldn't mind being one. A Hercules, or a Theseus, or an Ariadne. Then you remember the string. String, of course. You use all the strength that's left within you and wallop the rabbit in the face with your free hand. It's hardly a hard punch, but it's enough it releases its grip on your arm. You lunge at the netting around the ball pit to grab it and pull it towards you. You will entangle the rabbit with the string. The rabbit catches you by your other arm and wrenches it hard, breaking it with an easy snap as if it was nothing more than a twig. You scream out in pain, your head swims, you feel bile rise up in your throat, you release the netting and fall to the ground useless and ashamed. The rabbit rises
trained
up
our muscles
you
better.
and 15-year-old muscles, and looks at you one last time. Please don't, you ask futilely. It stares at you with pity, maybe, like it's disappointed in your attempt to defeat it.
Yeah,
this is easier than I thought it would be. Yeah. Then it opens its mouth, unhinging its jaw again in that horrible snake-like fashion. You have nothing left in you to defend yourself. You close your eyes and brace yourself for the attack. It chomps down on you, and the last thing you remember is a piercing white-hot pain. Yeah.
Feed that rabbit.
Feed him. He's hungry. He's a hungry boy.
Every time.
I mean, it's funny because it's not even mentioned pizza that much, but I'm like, I would like a pizza.
He has
I am
whole
the rabbit.
pies in the back, and we didn't even grab one.
Yeah, we could have fed him a pizza.
Imagine, like, in this moment, you're like, shoves a hot pizza in his mouth.
Every head that Hercules cut off grew back twofold, and he still kept fighting until he solved how to defeat the beast. Now is no time to give up. You just have to rally, fight back until you win, because you're the hero, and heroes win. Okay. With your other arm, you take a mighty swing and clock the rabbit right in the head. It doesn't knock it out or anything, but it shakes it up enough that it releases the grip on your arm. You pull away.
Kind of a wimp.
And I know you can't beat a 15-year-old. A kid's like, bam, and he's like, oh my god, my nose. I'm like, dude, he's 15. You pull away and prepare to fight the beast, but it doesn't pursue you. Instead, it suddenly turns its focus on Dad, lying there unconscious in the ball pit. The rabbit's jaws are wide like a snake, its teeth dripping with your blood, ready to inhale your dad whole. Well, that's not going to happen.
You're like, no, please no.
You don't care about the throbbing pain in your arm, and your good friend Adrenaline is seriously on your side right now because you launch yourself again at the rabbit, using the netting to spring yourself forward.
Spring.
As you fly in the air on the rabbit's back, you cry out, "Leave my dad alone!" Not as cool as some action movie one-liners, but it comes from a place deep inside your very soul. And as you land on the rabbit's back, you start pummeling its head hard. You reach around and claw at its plastic eyes. You're determined to stop this thing no matter what. The rabbit twists and turns under your attack, and then with an otherworldly, almost mechanical roar, it throws you off and into the pit. You land hard next to your unconscious dad. And mechanicals, like William's voice is distorted mechanically when he's in the suit in the movie. And you scramble to pull yourself back out for round 2. This fight isn't over until you say it's over.
Ding, ding, ding.
As you bust out for the balls, you're struck by the sight in front of you. Somehow the twisting and throwing you off its back has caught the rabbit up in the netting.
You're like, I didn't hear no balls instead of bells.
I didn't hear no balls. Pulling it, one rope around its throat, pulling it up, dangling above the floor. The more it twists, the more the rope tightens, and you just watch in horror and awe. And then stillness. Nothing but an old dirty yellow rabbit mascot suit hanging limp from a rope around its neck. A sudden gasp and you wheel around in the pit to find Dad has opened his eyes and taken a deep breath. You rush over to him, thrilled beyond anything that he's awake, that he's alive. Dad looks around confused. I don't understand why I'm here. What's happening? He finally makes eye contact with
Oswald's
you and
dad.
his panic starts to melt. He looks so tired
like,
but so happy to see you. What happened? What happened? Oh, you know, the usual. A giant yellow rabbit kidnapped you and took your place and I fought it and hanged itself. Yeah, no, that sounded crazy. And considering the fact that Jinx seems to be the only other creature alive that has been able to see the rabbit, probably very hard to prove. So instead you shoulder the blame. So, I hid in the ball pit to play a prank on you, which I shouldn't have done. You came to look for me and I guess you must have hit your head and lost consciousness. And even though none of that was true, there is one thing that is. I'm sorry, Dad. I didn't mean for things to get so out of hand. If this is Mike, that is the understatement of the fucking century. Absolutely understatement of the century. I'm sorry. I didn't mean for things to get so out of hand.
Spiraled a little. It's not all you, Mike. Your dad may have had a bit of a hand in it.
Mike also, like, Mike blames himself for starting it, though.
Yeah.
You really, really
Dad kind of had a hand in that.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Dad pushes himself up to sit with a heavy grunt and moves his head back and forth, twisting his neck a little bit. I accept your apology, son, he said with a tired smile. But you're right, you shouldn't have done it. And Jeff really should get rid of this ball pit before he's got a lawsuit on his hands. Jeff's like, fuck you.
Well, Jeff's like, we're keeping that pit.
That pit's here forever. We're going to make it admission charges. Well, that was something you definitely could agree on. You help Dad stand and you both climb out of the pit. You see Dad notice something and you turn to where he's looking. The rabbit costume, hanging there, lifeless. What's that creepy thing? And you answer honestly, I have no idea. Dad turns to look at you. Maybe he doesn't quite believe you. That's when he sees your arm. Oswald, are you okay? It hurts, sure, but you are so okay. Better than okay. Dad's back. I'm fine, you say? Uh-huh. We're getting you home so your mom can look at that. You seriously have no issues with that suggestion. Also, like, he got bit by an agony creature.
Yeah.
That doesn't heal.
Larson has a wound that
and he needed
Jake worries about.
To,
you need to burn it out.
Yeah, Jake needed to, like, cauterize it and remove the toxin agony or whatever.
But I don't know. We're stuck in a loop forever, so.
Yeah. You make your way to the exit and you just feel so happy. Dad's okay and also super guilty about all your arguments this summer. Dad, I know I can be a pain sometimes, but I really do love you, you know. Dad looks at you pleased but a little surprised. You don't blame him. It does probably feel super out of nowhere that you said that. Same here, kiddo. He reaches over to ruffle your hair, but you do have terrible taste in science fiction movies.
He can't even, like,
he has to insult him.
Yeah.
He can't even be like, I love you too. He's like, I love you, but your tastes suck.
Yeah.
You laugh. Oh yeah? Well, you have terrible taste in music, and you like boring ice cream. That's them doing the same thing they were doing before. Mm-hmm. My taste is impeccable, refined. Sure, if boring means refined. You both laugh, and you grab Dad and give him a side hug. He squeezes you tightly back. Now let's go home and watch one of my terrible movies, he says. It's a plan. As the door to Jeff's closes behind you and you breathe in the cool, clean night air, you hear Jeff call out, Hey kid, you forgot your soda.
So I've only done Don't Have Pieces.
Well, we do.
As I said, we played on normal. I haven't done anything beyond this, and I don't know anything
We
beyond.
do have a full token.
You can check the Don't Have Pieces ending, and then we can...
As you walk down the street with your dad, you actually enjoy the quiet stillness of your small town for once. You look around, appreciate the main street and how the street lamps make it look a bit like a scene out of a movie. You notice something glint in one of the lights as you approach. You bend down and see half a golden token on the ground. You pick it up and notice you're standing next to a wall of windows boarded up like they always are. This is that extended arcade games area that used to be part of Freddy's. You shake your head and can't quite believe everything you've been through this summer. You put the half token back where you found it, and then you pick up your pace to catch up to Dad. Together you walk home happily, but you can't help but feel like something is missing.
So another thing, like where you must repeat endings, I think.
Yeah, it sounds like if you're playing it on normal mode, then you have to do that ending and then start again.
Yeah. This is as far as I've gone. Haven't seen anything besides this. We're all in new territory now. We're entering
I mean, it
who
sounds
knows
like you
what's gonna
did the
happen
whole
land.
thing. Like, it just sounds like there's only one branch ending and that's it. That's what it sounds like. Like, we've got a token.
Again, but nothing really upsetting's happened, right? So whatever was upsetting people hasn't happened.
As you walk down the street with your dad, you actually enjoy the quiet stillness. You bend down and see half a token on the ground. You pick it up and notice you're standing next to a wall of windows. It looks like the other half you have in your pocket. If you already have a whole coin, we already have a whole coin. It's exactly like the whole token in your pocket, except one half of it. Weird. As you pick up your pace to catch up to Dad, you put the other half in your pocket. Why not? You continue your walk home with Dad, feeling content and happy. Add the gold token bonus item. So the gold token machine is at the start of the adventure, so you have to loop it. This is it, making sure you have it. See?
Okay.
It's exactly like the other half. You put the now whole token in your pocket and continue your walk home. So whatever happens, you get a token.
Okay.
It's just you either get the star ending because you have a whole thing.
And a half?
And the half, you get the other half. You just don't get the end stars. See?
I don't understand. Okay, here's the problem, right? Okay, so
right, we've done the quest, right? The quest gives you a half token, right? We got that naturally as we progressed through the story.
Okay.
Alongside the one that we had at the start.
I see. Okay.
So it gives you half a token.
So when did we pick up? When did we pick up the other half again?
I don't know. Happen? I didn't make a note of it. We did pick it up though because I remembered, because I said, "Look, it's now a full Freddy token." Remember, I wrote half token and I changed it to full Freddy.
Right, I get it. So if you started without it, that means
you'll have a half. But I think even if you started without it, like you will probably found a half, and it will give you the full one.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's saying you do it again.
So we're gonna start over. So this is.
It's 17 is where the gold token machine is, page 17. So I don't have to read all of this again. That was the machine now. Remember I said we'll come back here?
Yep.
You arrive at a game, no one's playing, there's no line, you wonder if it's out of service. There's a sign that reads special gold token only, and it's 8-bit escape is the name of the thing. So we do. You do have a gold token in your pocket for some reason. Weird. So the repeat is canon.
Yep.
It just straight up is.
Yes.
He's like, why do I have this? Because I've repeated.
Remember, he's looping. He doesn't know.
You grin as you pull it out and insert it into the game. You take a small step back. And this is interesting because how does William escape his looping hell, presumably? 8-bit. The machines in FNAF 3 are like
the
an
arcades.
Escape. Yeah. 8-bit escape. You know, like this is the same thing? You do have a gold token in your pocket for some reason. Weird.
Quarters is the name of the security breach.
Yep. You grin as you pull it out and insert it into the game. You take a small step back as the game music starts playing and images flash across the screen. Man, 8-bit, that classic 80s style of video game where all the images are made up of clunky pixels. It can be hard to tell what you're actually looking at. You know this because you've played a few versions of these old games on the computer. People are super nostalgic for them, so they remake them for newer consoles. You don't really get why.
You were so excited to play them. Oh, but he hasn't been to 1985 in this playthrough.
He's not been there yet. Okay, yes. Sometimes, like all old things, they can be kind of fun. The word start, written in those classic big pixel letters, flashes on the screen in front of you. You look down at the buttons on the arcade game and notice a little round joystick. You move it and the box around start lights up. You push the red button next to the joystick and the start turns a bright blue. Suddenly the world whooshes around you. You stagger back and try and keep your balance as a tornado of colour and blurred images spin faster and faster. What on earth? Are you about to time travel again? Perhaps even further into the past? Will there be horses and carriages?
Time travel again?
I don't know.
Did your memories come back?
I don't know. Will there even be electricity? Oh man, what if there's no indoor plumbing? You so aren't ready for this.
The
The
toilet.
whooshing stops. You look around. Well, the good news is
Main
you're
concern.
evidently still at Freddy's. The bad news is you're in an 8-bit version of Freddy's.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right.
Like the beginning of the FNAF movie.
Yeah. The world's turned into some kind of video game looking situation and not a photorealistic modern video game. Nope, something totally out of the 70s, out of the 80s. You're now surrounded by a pixel version of the restaurant. Pixels making up arcade games.
He went
the
deeper
booths.
into the simulation.
Yeah, that's the like level down.
That happens in FNAF World. The further down you go,
it gets
the
more pixely and crappy until you go right down, and you're just a little square.
Yep.
Pixels making up arcade games, the booths, and the animatronic band in the corner. You look down, even the carpet under your feet. Your feet. Oh no, your feet are 8-bit.
Mm-hmm.
What color are you? Tell us.
What do you mean?
Like what? He's an 8-bit character. I'm like, what color are you?
Oh, like if he's like.
Is he grey? Is he purple? Is he orange?
We saw him a little bit in the Return to the Pit game, right?
Yeah, but this is 8-bit.
Yeah,
Return to the Pit isn't 8-bit.
Yeah.
The 8-bit's like Scott's Atari ones. You figure if you looked in the mirror, your face would probably be too. You're kind of glad there isn't one because you'd be tempted to look and you don't think you could handle seeing that. You search around for anyone to call for help, and that's when you realise that, well, you might still be in Freddy's with all the usual Freddy's stuff in it. You're otherwise completely and utterly alone. There are no kids, no parents, no staff, just you, alone in Freddy's in an 8-bit Freddy's.
I feel like this is more lore as well for the, like, all the games, you know, Scott's original games. You have the games and then you have hidden pixel games that are in all the games that kind of tell the secrets of what's going on, right?
Yeah. The full realization of your situation sits heavy on your shoulders and you take in a deep breath. Okay. This all happened when you press start. Maybe there's a way to stop. So he's Freddy.
Oh, look at the little cute. I don't know. It just
maybe.
Would be weird. I don't know if we're Freddy.
Maybe. Maybe someone just wanted to.
It just said there was an 8-bit Freddy. The animatronics. This is cool.
You decide to explore the space. Where would a stop button be hiding? It's weird walking around an 8-bit world. Everything has hard edges and you bump your knee against the table, wincing for the pain. You look down. A tiny square tear has appeared in your jeans. And also teeny tiny red square dots.
Oh no.
Is that pixel blood? Are you bleeding? Can you get injured here or worse?
Quick, eat like a pixelated like leg of chicken or something.
Yeah, it's like
as is tradition.
Like, if I die in the game, I die for real. Just what you need. To be trapped is one thing, but being trapped knowing you can get hurt, that's another. You swallow hard. Well, if you can, you can, and the only thing you can really do about it is not die. You'll just have to avoid it. Man, you hope you can.
You'll be fine, Oswald. You'll just
8-bit
go back.
games are so easy to die in. You make your way over to where the ball pit usually is, and instead you find a table set up as if it's ready for a birthday party. He's at the party from, you know, the party, like, tables. There's a cake at the far end of it and plates and
Happiest
cups.
Day?
Yeah, it might be. You know the one where, like, there's the whole room and it's all tables?
Yeah.
And cups placed at individual spots, but no one is sitting at the table, and there's definitely no stop button and no pause button either. You turn around. On the opposite side of the room, you notice an exit door.
Wasn't
what you assume is in some kind of hall. You approach it carefully. You've explored everywhere else in the space, so it probably makes sense to check it out. Then again, maybe you missed something back at the original arcade game itself. Maybe the stop button is hidden there somehow. Do we explore the back hallway or go to the arcade game?
I don't know.
We'll do the arcade game.
Okay.
Right, you turn around and there standing before you is a giant yellow 8-bit rabbit. Oh no, not an actual rabbit. It's hard to tell because it's a pile of giant pixels, but somehow you understand this isn't some bunny like a cartoon, but someone wearing a mascot costume. You don't know why, but that horrifies you.
This is interesting because we couldn't identify what was happening, but now that we're in the 8-bit, he's like, this is the man in the rabbit costume.
More than if it had been a cartoon bunny, even though a giant bunny in real life is way weirder than some person wearing a costume. There's something ominous about this rabbit, though. Something's not quite right. As you try and figure out what isn't right about it, the rabbit opens its mouth wide, wider than any mouth should open. You stare inside its gaping maw and see sharp teeth.
Still has the teeth, still monstrous.
You assume are sharp teeth. Nothing can really be sharp looking when it's made of tiny squares. Huh, weird. You really should be more scared, you realise, when the rabbit lunges at you and pierces your flesh with the weird, not sharp teeth. You cry out, but the sound is more like a series of notes than a scream.
Weird.
Everything fades to blackness, a perpetual night, forever dead.
What?
Until you regenerate back in front of the arcade game. You're a little dizzy and confused.
Oh
it takes you a moment to realise what's happened. It's the loop. oh, I can't die. Or maybe you only have a certain number of lives, but it's a game. I'm in a game, you tell yourself.
Yes,
We've been saying this
yes.
forever about all these
I
stupid games.
know.
The pain was real though, you wince remembering it. You're not sure how many times you want to be torn to shreds by an 8-bit rabbit mascot. How mad must Tales gamers have been about this? How mad? I'm like,
I don't think this probably
this again, no, but
people are
again,
pretty
this is
confused
all,
by the game
but this is
situation
all
meta.
very like this is all like I am in a game,
Yeah.
I am in a loop. It does not fit into the established canon. It's like totally different than into the pit.
Mm-hmm.
Like immediately you're like, how do if you want to fit this in, you have to do weird things.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have to. Like I don't think that it is part of the same thing. I think these are all kind of different entities, like different universes, loops, AUs. It could all just be one loop, multiple loops. Yeah, well you're back at the start now and you still need to escape for this game. You really don't have much of a choice, so you might as well try again. So you can't fail this, I guess. You just have to go, well, I have to go here.
Mm-hmm. It just acknowledges it totally.
It's just like you can't die, you start
so
again.
Previously, for all this other stuff, like we've been doing it as the player. You know, we've been restarting from the start. We've been choosing different paths. This is and even though like at the end it was like you have to repeat this in order to like the story has to repeat. The character has to go through one loop and come back. People still were like, there's this kind of separation, right? Like for instance, in Help Wanted, you open up the little like boxes, and then in Security Breach, you open up the exact same boxes. And there's a part of us that goes, okay, you know, there's an outside story. You know, obviously, like the same team developed this. You know, in the real world, probably there's another explanation for why that's there. But if it's a video game and that's like the intention, like the explanation is, yeah, just what it says, like where he dies, he restarts. That's actually happening in the story as well. Yep.
You head over to the door and it opens easily, and yup, sure enough, there's a back hallway here. You walk down the bland grey hall looking for that stop. It's funny staring at the 8-bit Freddy posters on the wall. They're kind of cool looking. You kind of want one for yourself to put up in your room. If you ever get back to your time, of course, if you ever get out of the 8-bit world. You come across another door, so you open it and step inside. You find yourself in a storage room with tall shelves stacked with old toys, some Freddy action figures, and plush yellow chicks
Freddy action figures
wearing Let's Eat bibs. There's a mop and bucket in the corner. And that's when you see 4 little 8-bit kids sitting on chairs wearing party hats. Help, one calls out to you, though you don't actually hear him say it. Instead, the word appears in a black text box above his head, spelled out in pixels. Help.
What?
You realise they are actually tied to the chairs. Please save us. Another calls out, save us.
Save them.
Yeah.
Save us. Yeah.
Another text box appears over her head, white letters on a black background. So that was a boy and a girl. You don't know what to do. All you want is to escape this game, but it looks like you might need to play it to get out, and it has something to do with these kids. You just want to find an exit, not waste time like this. Then again, maybe helping the kids will help you find a way out.
This is very like FNAF 3. Weird.
So I think if we do this one, it will take us back. We'll get killed. We'll come back again. Would be my guess. Yeah, so there's no time to help the pixel kids. You need to get out of this game. You don't belong here. You head back out into the hall and right into the giant 8-bit yellow rabbit. Or no, not an actual rabbit. It's hard to tell because it's a pile of giant pixels. So this is a repeat, but this bit isn't. Like, forever, this, well, you're back at the start and you still need to escape. Yeah, but there's this little pixel that we never had.
That's extra. It might have been there before, but the formatting might have been
No,
weird.
it shouldn't have, because if if it was on that page, it would show it. You know what I mean? Like it's not cut off. It's still that you decide to untie them. You work your way down the row of kids untying their hands and their feet for the chairs. It's really weird seeing your own 8-bit hands as you do it. But you try not to focus on that. You finish and stand upright waiting for the kids to get up. This is
like also like the Princess Quest ending in like right where we go into Princess Quest and we're in an 8-bit game suddenly and in the end of Help Wanted 2.
But they don't move. You walk around them one more time just to double check you've untied everything. You can't see anything that might be holding them down. What are you supposed to do exactly? What am I supposed to do? You say it, or at least you try to say it. Your words come out as jumbled sounds, almost more like notes on an instrument than words. Why don't you at least get a text box too? Seems unfair.
You're like,
he sounds like he's an animatronic. Like he's an animatronic if he's making noises.
But that's what happens with
Well, this is frustrating. You hear a bang from down the hall and spin on your heel to look at the open door. Next, you hear heavy footsteps heading your way. You turn again and see a giant box of party supplies in the corner.
Also, we saw he had jeans and he tore his jeans and he had blood, so I don't think he's an animatronic.
True. If you jump behind the party supplies to hide, if you stand there facing the door, obviously it's the rabbit, but we'll stand. Yeah, so this is just the same.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, where he regenerates and he's in a game, and then it starts over again. So I'll go back.
Party supplies.
You peer out from behind the box to see a giant yellow 8-bit rabbit enter the room. Even though it's made of pixels and it's hard to see details, somehow you get the impression the game isn't telling you this is an actual giant rabbit. You think for some reason this is a person inside a rabbit costume. You don't know why you're supposed to know that or what difference it makes, but you feel very uncomfortable by the thought, a little scared even. Maybe that's why you were meant to think it. The game wants you to feel scared.
See, that's interesting as well because
the game wants you to feel scared. It wants you to produce fear.
Yeah, because that was our other theory that, like, you know, why are all the FNAF games horror games and why is Fazbear, you know, making them and stuff? And the real goal would be William's
you realize
fear
that the rabbit is carrying another kid over its shoulder.
And only had 4, so fifth, yeah.
You watch as the rabbit places the kid on another chair. The kid tries to run away, but the rabbit catches him as he rises from the chair and pushes him back down on it hard. The rabbit quickly places a party hat on the kid's head, and suddenly the kid sits perfectly still. The rabbit then ties the kid to the chair like the other kids have been tied up and leaves. You feel adrenaline pumping through your veins. You understand what you have to do now. You wait a bit longer to make sure the rabbit isn't on his way back anytime soon, and when you feel like enough time has passed, you quietly sneak out for your hiding spot and move over to the kids. You untie the new kid!
The new kid!
Oh my god. Then as quickly as you can, you remove all the party hats for the kids' heads. The moment you do, the kids are instantly up on their feet. They can move around freely now. Thank you, appears above the girl's head. We need to escape quickly, appears over the boy to her left. Okay, that's the next task. You might as well treat this like an actual video game. A video game where you can get injured and bleed pixels, but still, time to escape the back room.
The back rooms.
Yeah, escape the back rooms. So, let's see. There's a ladder.
There's a vent.
And
a corner.
I think probably if we look around the corner, we're just going to get caught, but I can try it. Oh, so you can just run for the back exit?
Yeah.
Will I try that? Because I think we're going to get killed if we do that.
Yeah, you can read it, though.
You lead the kids as quickly as you can to the back exit of the building. You push hard against the door and it doesn't budge. You try again and again and again. again and again and again. Crap. You have no choice. You have to try and exit through the restaurant. You make your way back along the hallway, past the storage room to the door back into the restaurant and carefully open it looking into the space. You see the rabbit standing by the birthday table. You see the exit to the outside on your right. You can do this. You have to do this. Once again, you gesture for the kids to follow you. They don't seem happy about it at all. Are you sure? Appears in a text box above them and you nod. You are sure. You're also sure the longer you wait to do this, the more chances you'll all have of being seen by the rabbit. Come on, you say, or sing, or music, talk, or whatever it is that makes it impossible to talk in the game. You'd love a text box of your own at this point. The kids are reluctant, but they walk up to you and are relieved. You turn back to the restaurant. The rabbit is still facing away from you. Follow me, kids, you think to yourself. Dude, I'm like, don't say that. And then you step into the restaurant. You're literally on your tiptoes and you turn to check on the kids and notice they are also on their toes. Well, that's something at least. You hunch a little to make yourself smaller and they do too. And all 6 of you, as quietly and quickly as you can, make your way through the restaurant.
This kind of makes Oswald the 6th.
Yeah. Your peripheral vision warns you of another text box and you glance up. It's coming. What? You turn and see the rabbit is barreling towards you all. Run, you sing, speak, but the kids don't need to be told that. Everyone scatters and you run towards the arcade games. The rabbit has decided to follow you, and since you feel responsible for these kids now, you kind of don't mind. Better you than them. What you do mind is when it distends its pixel jaw and envelopes your torso with its mouth, piercing your flesh with its sharp pixel teeth. You try and scream out, but again, it's just musical notes. As you die, you watch as the rabbit turns its attention to the kids, picking them off one by one. You are a failure. You are ashamed. Everything fades to blackness, a perpetual night, forever dead. Until you regenerate back in front of the arcade game. Yeah, and it's I can't die. You might as well try again.
I always come back. You say.
let's
William's
see.
like, makes a weird beep, 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 rabbit noise.
Right, so we need to go to the ladder, I think. What is he playing with? Can you check what Darcy's playing with, please? I can hear him jingling, and I'm like, he shouldn't be jingling. That cat's up to no good. You gesture to the kids to follow you and cross the room to the ladder. It's really hard to tell how secure it is since it's made of pixels, but you figure it wouldn't exist in the game if you weren't meant to climb it. You go up the ladder first, carefully until you reach the large round vent at the top of the wall. Oh, it's just a wee plastic disc or something he's been hitting out. How does he find these things? That's so weird. It's definitely big enough for a person to fit, and since most vents in real life aren't, you take it as another sign that you should use it, otherwise why would the game have human-sized vents to crawl through?
Yeah.
You pull yourself into the vent and then turn around so your head is poking out. You try to speak, but of course it comes out as all notes. So you shake your head and gesture for the kids to follow you. That's what the puppet would do, I assume, the weird notes thing.
Oh, yeah.
You remember
Maybe.
your parents always told you to do the right thing? You know, like the choreography and stuff? It's weird. Like, again, like, notes are interesting. I was watching, like, the Defunctland animatronic, like, video he made.
Mm-hmm.
And he was summing up how animatronics are controlled.
Mm-hmm.
And they're called audio animatronics because they're controlled by audio cassette tapes.
I remember in FNAF 3 where
So
it
like
shows
they have
them...
like 8 tracks, and then like in Disney like he got like he basically got the like military. The military had found a way to do like 32 tracks on a tape,
Mm-hmm.
and they used the tape to move like individual things. But I thought that was interesting that animatronics are controlled by audio.
And I remember in FNAF 3 it shows them following like music notes.
Yeah, I just
when
thought
they're
I
being
wonder
led,
if Scott knew that.
And Springtrap, like it follows sound or whatever.
Yeah, I just wondered if Scott knew about because surely he's talked to like Aaron Fector and stuff like that. Like, surely he knows like it's an audio cassette tape type thing that is used to control their kind of brains. You know, like it's just interesting. You remember your parents always told you to do the right thing. Thankfully, they understand. You move deeper into the vent as one by one each kid climbs inside. Once everyone is in, you turn and lead them into the ventilation system, crawling along as quietly as you can. You reach a T section. You can go left or right or left here. You look back at the kids to see if they have a preference, but they just stare back at you. It would seem you're the one in charge of all the decisions in this game.
If you have a map of the pizzeria, do we have a map? We don't have a map, do we?
No, we've only got a flashlight, token, bunny ears.
Weird.
So right or left?
Right.
There's really nothing that indicates a better route, so no smells wafting from one direction, no noises to avoid. It's just luck, just chance. That's how you know it's an old school game, because you get bugger all to help you like find your way through it. Whatever you choose will either be the correct choice or the wrong choice. So you chose right. You choose right.
The right or the wrong choice.
Like right choice. You turn and start to crawl down that vent, and the kids follow you dutifully. Your hands and knees are getting sore, and so's your back. That you can feel things in the game freaks you out. You really need to win this thing. You don't want to know what's going to happen if you don't. Finally, you see daylight far down the vent and exit, thank goodness, but you also hear a noise from directly below you. Directly below you. Your moment of relief is replaced by panic as you look down through the small holes in the vent shaft. There's the rabbit. It's walking directly below you. I think if we go fast, he'll hear us going bam, 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 bam through the vents, but if we stay still, I don't know. I'll see if he kills us if we do that. Let's see if I go back 2 seconds. I just want to see if this one's a dead end. Right, so neither's a dead end.
It says you might as well...
Oh, yeah, as it just doesn't say game over. So yeah, like we run, there's so let's see. What is it doing? Why is it standing there? Can it still hear you with those giant ears? No, that's stupid. The ears aren't real. He's a mascot. Can he smell you? Well, that seems even stupider. You feel like you're going to pass. No, but dude, Darcy, I do not think so. You don't go under there normally. Go away. He's in shenanigans mode. He's trying to get behind my monitors where he never goes unless he's in like maximum nonsense. You feel like you're going to pass out, but the rabbit finally walks off behind you. You wait a moment and take in a deep breath. Suddenly there's a crash from behind and you turn to see large yellow arms reaching up through the bottom of the vent, grabbing and twisting, pulling on the torso of the kid behind you. The thrashing causes the vent to buckle and you hold onto the metal with the tips of your fingers. Oh, there's no way this is going well for you. The entire vent shaft collapses off the ceiling and you fall hard into the hallway. You, the kids, and the rabbit. The rabbit grabs you as you fall, pulling you close, and somehow twists and breaks your neck. That's brutal. Then he starts again. Right, so we... Was it this one was the right one, or was it go extra fast?
Go extra fast.
Yeah, he never turns out well for that. Darcy, no. Darcy, enough. You speed down the vent as fast as you can.
That's a picture of the kids, right?
Yeah.
Hmm.
You speed down the vent as fast as you can and feel for the vibrations behind you that the other kids are doing the same. You really hope the vent doesn't collapse under the activity. You reach the light and glance down through the holes below you just to make sure the rabbit isn't somehow beneath you. It's nowhere to be seen. Darcy, what the heck? What are you doing? Down! Here! Get down! Down. Yes. That's right. He's just... we're getting to the good part of the story and Darcy's like, I'm gonna destroy everything.
Senses the excitement in the air.
Yeah. Actually, now you look up, see the other kids jumping down. You're kind of impressed how high up it is and wish with yourself for jumping at all, not just for the excellent landing. You've managed to jump down into the main part of the restaurant. You're so grateful you chose to go right. You almost want to cry. Now you need to get out of here. You turn to the kids, but one of them has taken this moment to sit at the birthday table. He's smiling and looks not at all concerned about the rabbit. Of course you are. You very much are concerned. Can we have some cake? The box above his head reads. Are you kidding me? We don't have time for this. The rabbit could come upon them at any moment. Yes, we want cake. A text box appears over all the other kids' heads. Guys, come on. They all sit at the table. Priorities, people. This is interesting because there's some implication that Henry might have been feeding the kids remnant to keep them going.
Yep.
Which, yeah. Suddenly the back door to the hall flings open and the rabbit's right there. It makes its way slowly but steadily towards all of you by the birthday table, heading right for the kids. You gesture wildly at the kids, but they just sit there smiling at them. If you try and give them some cake so they'll listen to you, or no way you will not let them eat cake if you rush over and physically pull them out of the chairs, insisting you run out the front door away from the rabbit.
Obviously we're eating cake.
I feel like the wrong answer is pulling them out.
Well, you could try the pulling them out.
I don't know. We can do the cake and see, but... Yeah, oh my god, you're the bear. You're giving them cake. You're bringing cake to the children. I want to see this one as well.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is death.
Okay.
There's no time for cake. You're insistent and start to pull the kid closest to you off his chair. Even though you can't speak, the kids seem to understand you by now. They all get up and follow you as you book it for the front door. You don't even look over your shoulder. You hope the rabbit's still doing that strange, slow walking thing, but you can hear heavy footsteps behind you and are pretty sure it's discovered how to run. You're pretty sure it's chasing you. Well, run as fast as you can, rabbit, because we win. You bust out of the restaurant into the welcoming daylight, only no, it's not daylight, it's just an empty white space above, around, and below you. That's out of bounds.
Yeah.
You know, like,
okay.
your whole body feels weightless and you realise you're floating. You see the kids are floating too. Oh, and there's the rabbit. It made it outside too, evidently. It's also floating. You're all a little stunned at this turn of events. Your legs float up and you can see your feet. You notice the little pixels that make up your body seem wider apart than they were before.
Uh-oh.
You look at your hands. Yes, you can definitely see white breaking through your skin. The pixels float wider and wider apart, and you realise this is the pieces.
Yeah.
They put the pieces back together. The pixels float wider and wider apart, and you realise you're crumbling into little pieces, disintegrating pixel by pixel. The kids are disintegrating now. The rabbit is as well. Your pixels float apart and mingle with everyone else's pixels.
Whoa.
It all starts to mix together. You are no longer you. You are one with the pixels, with the whiteness, with the other kids, with the rabbit. It's not exactly a feeling of peace, but it's a feeling that this is right. This is your forever. Forever. Until you regenerate back in front of the arcade game, you're a little dizzy and confused. Yeah, so you start again, but that's the like everybody getting like
Yeah,
smushed.
mixed up.
So we have to give them the cake.
Cake.
You run over to the cake and quickly start cutting it to pieces. This is madness. You glance over your shoulder. The rabbit is still coming for you. It's now halfway across the room. Thank goodness it somehow doesn't seem to know how to run. As you serve the first piece of cake, you feel ridiculous, but for some reason now you kind of feel like this is the right choice. It calms you down a bit even as you sense the rabbit's imminent arrival. You continue to serve cake, 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 and a final piece of cake to the girl with the curly hair. That's Susie. Susie's got ringlets, potentially.
Yeah, could be.
I just know that the only image we have of Susie is with like really tight curly hair.
Mm-hmm. Cassidy's name also means curly haired.
Yeah, but Cassie's got like afro hair. She's got like kind of like more, I guess.
Dunno.
But yeah, who knows? You could describe it as curly, I guess, if she's got like sort of like not black hair, but like whatever, half hair or whatever. You stand over to the kids as in unison they all dig into their slices and take a bite. As they chomp down on the cake, you can't help but look over at the rabbit again. Is it here yet? Is it going to attack
Wait.
y'all?
So we see how many pieces of cake we serve, right? We serve the first piece of cake, one cake.
2, 3, 4, 5.
And the fifth
and
piece
he's
of
the
cake.
6th.
She's the fifth
Yeah.
kid, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
You stand over the kids as in unison.
Wasn't the fifth one to be brought in though?
Dig into
The
their
last one's a
slices and
boy.
take a bite. As they chomp down on the cake, you can't help but look over at the rabbit again. Is it here yet? You notice instead it stopped in place. Well, that's good at least. That's interesting because that's what kind of happens to Freddy in the like bring cake to the children. He slows down and then stops. Then it starts to convulse like it's being electrocuted or something. It spasms and flinches and bounces in place. And then right in front of you, in front of the kids, in front of the cake, it explodes into a million pieces. Instinctively, you crouch and hide
So wait,
your
what
head.
happens? They ate
started,
all the
like,
cake. So
he fed them the cake. He stopped the rabbit, and then starts to convulse like spring locks, like sort of convulsions, and then it explodes. William likes to explode.
William
This is the second time.
Yeah.
Second time that he's exploded in the canon, and I'm like, it's odd that it's happened twice. Instinctively,
the cannon. He's exploding like a 4th of July rocket.
Cannon. Instinctively, you crouch and hide your head under your arms, bracing yourself against the flying pixels, but they miraculously avoid you and the kids. You look up and the coast is clear. The kids are cheering the word "Yay!" Oh my, yay!
Oh,
the like victory noise.
Yeah.
Appeals above their heads.
Remember the little fireworks in the Foxy game?
And then a giant blue winner appears. It's so big you worry it's going to fall on you and crush you, but then you realise, oh, winner. Suddenly the world rushes around you again, that colourful whoosh like at the start of the game. You understand in this whirlwind you've won the game. You are quite proud of yourself. The whooshing stops and you steady yourself. You're standing in front of the arcade game again, and the game is so totally real, not made up of pixels or anything. You quickly look at your hands and are more than relieved they're your hands. Real human flesh and blood and bone, and all the other stuff people are made of, hands. You can't help but smile. You look up and realise you aren't in the past anymore. You're back in Jeff's Pizza. But since when did Jeff's have old-fashioned arcade games? It's then you hear the noise, the din of customers enjoying their food. You look around and see the booths are full. There are a couple of waiters running around delivering sodas, and Jeff looks happy and satisfied behind his counter. Still kind of greasy, but a lot less pathetic looking. As for you, well, you're standing in a corner with 3 other arcade games against the wall. You realise only then that you're where the ball pit used to be, but there's no ball pit anymore, just happy, colourful video games. That's again the pit as the arcades.
Yeah, it's the games.
On the wall beside where you're standing as a framed newspaper article, you read the headline, "Kids saved from certain death, whole town rejoices." There's a picture of a person in a mascot suit being handcuffed by police.
Okay.
They didn't even take him out the suit. They just put the handcuffs on his mascot suit.
Okay.
And 5 kids watching with their parents. There is a date too, 1985. 1985? Wait, did you do that? Hey Oswald, having fun? You jump and turn. It's Dad. Oh yeah, I think I beat the game. And saved the lives of 5 kids and changed the course of history. This is weird. This is leading into the stuff that the movie was talking about. Can we change memories?
Yes. Can you change memories?
Sweet, good job. Want to challenge your old man? You look at him, you're supposed to be mad at him, you remember that now, but he seems to have forgotten about any of your arguments. And honestly, after everything you've just been through with those kids, well, you kind of think it's silly to be fighting about stupid stuff. Plus, taking care of kids is hard work. They can be really annoying, even when you're trying to help them. You feel like you understand Dad's perspective a lot better now, and playing a game together would be fun. You look down at the flashing start on 8-Bit Escape and think, maybe not this one. You don't want to undo everything. After all, you're a hero. Not that anyone will ever know that. Maybe Donkey Kong instead? You gesture at the game beside you. Bad
Yay,
choice
Donkey
there,
Kong's
kid.
canon.
I'm a Donkey Kong Grandmaster. Dad rolls up his sleeves. You shake your head and laugh. You wish, you say. You play the game together and it's a lot of fun. You feel bad about being annoyed and frustrated with Dad. After all, he's just trying to do his best. You enjoy some pizza together and take a pie to go for Mom. All differences are set aside and it actually turns into a pretty fantastic summer.
You have a nice summer too because the town's not dead, right?
Yeah.
The town's like booming.
Yeah, that I mean, like Jeff's Pizza is like up and running, and there's like waiters and
and
stuff.
he obviously has the money. Like he's like, we'll get a whole pizza pie and we'll take. We even have extra to take home to Mom because he has money because the town's running again.
Ending, the end. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's weird. I still don't see why people flipped. I mean, I don't know. You know, like because there's an 8-bit bit in it. I don't know. Why do people flip their wigs about this?
I think it was something to do with
I'm not close enough to like any of the theories to understand why this would upset someone. Like to me, this aligns with everything that we've already been saying.
I think
like,
Andrew's missing.
Oh, the stupid Andrew! I always forget Andrew exists because he's a nothing character. He's like appears for 5 seconds, has no personality.
Because in all the other ones there were 6 kids, and this one there's.
Darcy, what are you doing?
5.
Don't give me angry ears. Just do something else, sir. Yeah, that's weird. Very weird. It was fun. I just never want to see Into the Pit again. I was going to play through Into the Pit again, and I'm like, I don't think I can right now. I think I need a break.
Is there anything we missed? Was that pretty much it?
I think that's pretty much it. I don't have the energy to sit and go through every page right now, probably.
Just see if there's any pictures or anything we missed.
Yeah, that's the main thing. That was the kids. And that's the end. Yeah, it's only 172 pages. There isn't a whole lot to it.
Okay. About the authors? What was about the authors? This is a new author, too.
Scott Cawthon, and then Adrienne Kress is Toronto-born actor and writer. Her books include the award-winning and internationally published novels Alex and the Ironic Gentleman, Timothy and the Dragon's Gate, and Hatter Madigan, Ghost in the Hat Box, as well as the steampunk novel The Friday Society. First foray into writing horror came with her work on Bendy and the Ink Machine novels.
Oh, she wrote the Bendy and the Ink. Okay, that's
as an actor, she has the pleasure of being creepy in such horror films as Devil's Mayo and Wolves. She's an actor as well, yeah. And she took great pleasure in getting to hunt teenagers in sci-fi's Never Knock. Haunt, I know. Yeah, so, yeah.
Okay. Bendy crossover.
Yeah. Again, it's like, I guess if you want to write for.
Was there a game has crashed?
Don't know.
Keep going.
It
was no.
Or was it forward?
Forward.
Yeah. A map is not in this game.
Oh, if you chose the map.
Yeah, we're like, yeah, sure, I've got a map of the pizzeria. You're the one who must live with your shame. You know what they say, cheaters don't win, but those who might try make the yellow rabbit grin. This is like the purple man grin.
That's the same from the week before.
This is the same. The like
the game has crashed.
Cheat. Yeah.
Ooh.
It's like cheat the
and
game.
Yellow Rabbit in replace for Purple Man. Almost like they're the same characters. They're crazy.
Which they are. I'm like, good God, guys. This isn't hard. This isn't rocket science. I'm just saving that as the crash page. Yeah, it's where you say, I've got a thing that lets me cheat, and it's like, no, you don't.
So what I think, because it's the 5th and final kid to get the cake, right? Like, in the happiest day, that's Golden Freddy, right?
I don't know. I think so, yes. The middle one.
And then the puppet's like the 6th kid, right? there's 4 kids, right? There's 4 kids, then there's Golden Freddy on the end, then there's the puppet comes in, and the puppet's like the 6th kid. So maybe that's the like girl with curly hair being Cassidy instead of because Andrew has curly hair, and
Look, I wonder what this one's connected to.
I don't know. Can you
it's
expand the
there.
page over?
Like make it full thing. Yeah, so it's that. It's that one there. He's cute. He's a cute lad. Yeah, that's a ball pit. I told you I'd net and see.
Yikes. We didn't ever find out. Could you look up action figure?
Let's see if we can find the
Yeah.
action figure. 2 seconds. I'll do that in a second. Once I go back to the start. Let's see. Right, let's see. Control F. No, I can't control F. Where is it? There's the search. Action.
Action.
Freddy action figures. Not as cool as action movie. Time for action. Sparks action. So it doesn't do anything. See it? Freddy action figure. If you choose to add the action figure to your inventory, and then it doesn't say it again. See, this is a description of a room. This is an action movie one-liner. This is time for action.
Did they forget to put in that path that it completely?
Yeah, maybe it got taken out.
There's so many errors. They might have just forgotten that path.
Yeah, or maybe it got taken out for some reason.
Because there would be something to use the action figure, right?
Yeah.
Is there another word there? Figure. Can you try figure, maybe? Just in case it says something else.
Figure, you figure, action figure. That's when you get it. That's when you get it. Figure, figures, figure, figure. Figured. No. Nothing.
Okay. So it's...
Do you think it's because Funko lost the license? They were like, you don't get it.
You can't put anything. It doesn't exist.
They're like, it doesn't exist anymore.
They're like on retcons it.
Yeah, so I don't think there's anything else that we've missed just now.
Okay.
But yeah, I think this was a very interesting story. Again, it's building on this, like, these are games, these are loops. If you cheat, William likes it. William wants you to break these loops.
William's a cheater.
Yeah.
He thinks it's funny.
Yeah, he's like, break the games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the same kind of the meta that we, understand.
Yeah. I'm glad to be free of it for now. I enjoyed the book, but I am so sick of Into the Pit. Please, God, let us have another story about something else.
What was somebody joking about today? They were like, we're going to get the spin-off that was, people were talking about that there was a spin-off confirmed.
Oh, yeah, yeah. It's Into the Pit series.
People are like, it's more Into the Pit.
Yeah. Oh, it's so much. It's so much.
Return to the pit.
Return to the pit.
I like the little chip adventure. I think that was very cute. And
yeah, the little
Gabriel
defeat the rabbit cult
being revealed as Chip's daughter.
That's cute. Yeah.
Got his head bitten off. I did want to see Detective Larson. The visit from the Ella doll was
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she helps him almost.
Helps the rabbit.
Yeah, she's like lures you down like a Judas goat, and then you get killed. But yeah, I thought it was interesting. It's one of those things that I'll think about and let it percolate.
It's
in my
interesting
brain.
too that it starts you. A lot of times that when it starts you off, it gives you useful items, and this time it gave you the rabbit ears and was like,
those ears
here's the easy ending.
Who gave you the rabbit ears ultimately?
Yeah, they're
you know
like,
what I mean?
If you want an easy ending,
and
select
it's like
these.
This just gets you killed in the end twice.
Well, it gets you
it gets you trapped forever in rabbit land.
Yeah, but it's an easy ending, right?
Yeah, it's the opt out. It's the
Brazil
ending.
ending.
The Brazil ending.
Yep.
Yeah, where you get happy rabbit thing forever.
Yep.
But yeah. Whew. That was a lot to do in one day, but I enjoyed it. But my voice is tired now. And probably the next thing we'll do maybe is Monster.
Yes. We'll read Monster. Yes.
Yeah, we'll do Monster once like my voice recovers. But yeah, we'll probably do that sometime. And we'll
Monster
just
is
read through it.
amazing. You guys will see.
And
10 out of 10. One of my
Like,
favorite
I've never
books.
seen her more like excited about anything
Oh God.
as she is about Monster.
Oh my God. Monster is the best.
Like-
You'll see. You'll see. Really good.
Even if you read it, it's worth listening to like our random things about things because we've got a lot of thoughts.
But
on
it's
it.
also an obscure book that was hard to find.
Yeah,
It's
we
not a
had to
digital
get.
version.
We have what 3 copies of it?
Well,
We've got 3 copies because we had.
they're
to
all
get,
perfect.
We had a friend who was going to get it for us, but they couldn't find it, and then they found it, and at the same time, another friend was going to get it and scan it. So they got a copy to scan so that they could bend the spine and stuff, and we one that we would have in good condition. And all of them came once. So we got it scanned, and then they all came, and now we've got 3. So yes, we have 3 for some reason.
It's great.
But yeah,
you guys
good.
will.
It's a book
see.
worth having
It's
3
amazing.
of. Frankly, it's a good one.
It's good. It's good. We'll talk about it too because the theory stuff on it is like phenomenal.
Yeah,
really good.
We'll go into it, and it's great. Yeah, so that's something to look forward to, I guess.
Yep.
But for now, I'll catch you later.
Bye. Bye.